Good late morning, everyone. Welcome to Macomb High School. As TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH is here for the MHS invite. The boys swimming season has its first meet of the year here at Macomb High School tonight. It's not their first swim meet, but it's the first one hosted at Macomb this season, and we're happy to be here. We may not be able to do all their home meets this year, but we're going to try to do as some of everything, as we got wrestling coming up Thursday. We wanted to do last week's wrestling as well, but just not able to get the crew around to do it on a shortened Thanksgiving week. Grant Hicks is on the camera again. Luke Little is going to be here on the camera a little bit today as well, and his first help with us on TSSR Game Time Live. As we continue to add some new things to our broadcasting schedule. If you're watching from Macomb, we'll have the QMD Macomb game live from Quincy Notre Dame High School tonight, or it's actually late afternoon. The JV game starts at 5 today for that, so we'll be there. But we're here for swimming today, and there's a lot of teams here. Last check, I was told there's 12 teams here. We've got representatives from Macomb, Dunlap, NCHS, Galesburg High School, Moline, Springfield, Metamora, United, just to name a few. Keokuk, Iowa is here. Monmouth Roseville is here. There are a bunch. Kewanee is here. So you're going to see at Crimsons, which is Moline, I believe, are the Crimsons. They're, as I said, are here. Nope, Crimsons and Moline are something different. So the Crimsons are here. We'll figure out who that is. We have Derek, who's going to come up and help us. He's got a little more knowledge than I do of what's going on here today. I will be perfectly honest with you folks. I have never covered a swim meet before, but we are here. And this is more about getting the kids the chance to be on our YouTube channel so they can be seen by family and friends back in their area and around the country and around the world for that matter. Free broadcast. If you would, feel free to share and like this stream so people can know that it's being viewed or being available right now. Share it with your friends. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have tons of football, basketball, softball, track. We'll do some more swimming. We'll have soccer, wrestling, all kinds of great stuff here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. So my name is Dwayne Hulett. Please bear with me until we get some people up here that can talk a little bit better about things than I can. But we have a great day of swimming ahead of us. You will see some commercials played in between, and with that, we'll play our first one from our title sponsor for TSSR Game Time Live. That's McDonough District Hospital.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
It was the community that really drew me back to Macomb. I'm from a small community, and I'm from a farm family, and ultimately I always wanted to practice in a place like that, and I felt that I had the ability to connect to people who with a similar background from me, and the fact that the staff members at the hospital and the support, all the support staff at the hospital was also focused with the goal of patient care. It felt like it just all came hammered at home for me.
We are back here. Here we get ready to go with the medley. This is the 200-yard medley for boys swimming. Galesburg High School, Springfield. Galesburg's in lane 2, Springfield in 3, and lane 4 is also Springfield. Starting with the backstroke. Down and back already. Second swimmer in the water for So we are going to try to get you down to the other end of the pool a little bit as the breaststroke now, as it's going to be team number 1 from Springfield in lane 3 with the current leader. As Springfield in lane 4 looks to be running in second spot. And fourth swimmer in the water for Springfield. Third swimmer in the water for lane 2, Galesburg High School. Final swimmer already made the turn for the Springfield group number 1. Freestyle coming to the wall now. And Springfield gets the win in the 200-yard medley. Final swimmer in the water for Springfield Team 2. Final swimmer going in the water for Galesburg right now. And the freestyle on the way back for Springfield number 2 as they're going to take the second spot. Fourth swimmer for Galesburg is Jacob Rabin, according to my sheet. And the 200-yard medley is completed. Springfield High, Team 1, gets the win. Heat 2 getting ready to go. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
I chose the MDH OBGYN group because I've heard wonderful things about Dr. Smith. And upon entering the office, I really got along with everybody and got a warm feeling. The staff is warm and inviting and welcoming. It's a small community, so it's a really nice hospital to have here in the rural area. I continue to choose MDH because of the relationships I have. I really enjoy everybody here.
Heat 2 for the 200-yard medley now. As you can see the time on the scoreboard. 1:54 was the fast time in the last heat. Backstroke here. There are 4 teams. Macomb is in the near lane, lane 2. The Crimsons are in lane 3. Moline, lane 4. And Metamora is in lane number 5. Macomb is in the near lane. Got one swimmer out in lane 5, already back to the wall. And swimmer number 2 in the water for Metamora. Macomb's second swimmer, as the second, third, and fourth very close in this group. Breaststroke for the second 100 meters. Swimmer number 3 in the water now, as Metamora has already made the turn with their third swimmer. Bombers' third swimmer in the water. Bombers in fourth, I do believe, right now. Metamora made the turn. They're coming to their final swimmer now. Swimmer number 4 in the water right now for Metamora. Bombers have their fourth swimmer in the water. Metamora touched the wall in 1:58 at the other end, I do believe. So 1:58 and 56, Metamora's time. 2:12 in lane number 3 for the Crimsons. 2:26 in lane number 4 for Moline. And the Bombers tapped the wall at 2:35 and 85. For heat number 2. Heat number 3 is Dunlap, the Irish, Macomb in lane 3, Galesburg lane 4, Moline lane 5, and then Macomb again in lane number 6. As we get ready to go here, as they clear the pool, clear the times. 1:54, I believe, still the fastest time by Springfield in lane 3 of the first heat. As we get ready to go here. Once again, Dunlap, Peoria, Notre Dame, the Irish, Macomb, Galesburg. I think it's Galesburg. It could be Galva, I might have just heard. We'll try to get officials on that. Peoria, Notre Dame is in lane 2, the Irish. And they're all coming back. This is a much closer heat on the backstroke. Lane 2 and lane 4. Near a dead heat, 32 and 12 and 31 and 73, and then 32 and 44. So, and then 31 and 65. So very 3 and 5 were just a tenth of a second apart at the completion of the first lap. Third swimmer's already in the water. This is a very fast group here. 1:10, 1:08, 1:08:39, 1:08 and 62. Lane 3 and 5. Lane 3 is Macomb. Lane 5 is Moline. Final swimmers getting ready to go in here. Lane 2 now, second quick. Lane 5 was at 1:36. Final swimmer in the water for the first lane, Dunlap. Coming to the wall first at 2:06 and 58. In first place, lane number 5 is Moline. Second goes to lane 2, Peoria Notre Dame. Third goes to lane 4. That is Galesburg. Macomb gets 4th, and Macomb gets 5th. Lane number 1, Dunlap, finishes at 2:29 and 57. And heat number 4 for the 200-yard medley. Didn't count up the races, but there are a bunch of them today. As I had it explained to me, I believe it's the top 2 medley finishes and the top 3 individual finishes count as points towards the meet today. Medley heat race number 4 has Moline in lane 1, Keokuk, Iowa in lane 2. Dunlap. Galesburg is in 5 and Dunlap in 6. Another good heat here. Third swimmer's in the water, I do believe. Made a turn at 1:25 and 5:53 in lane number 4. That is Dunlap was the fastest at that turn. Fastest of the meet in lane number 3, 1:49. That's Dunlap, or no, in lane number 3 is Keokuk still trying to finish here. 1:50 and 75 in lane 1 for Moline. 1:48 and 78 in lane 4 for Dunlap. 1:49 in lane 2 is NCHS. Moline finishes third, with 1:50 and 75. Fastest was Dunlap with a 1:48.78. Lane 2, Keokuk just heard disqualified for an early takeoff on swimmer 2. They were 5th in time. Harley Brown, I believe this 200-yard freestyle. Harley Brown from Macomb, a junior. Tucker Baldy from Macomb. Dunlap's Parker Jenkins, a sophomore, and Dunlap's Lucas Herbst is in 5. So it's 2, 3, 4, and 5 in that order. As Harley Brown will start in the water. Have 4 heats of 200-yard freestyle. Far side lane 4, Lucas Herbst looks to be the one to make the first turn back at the start-finish end. Herbst's fastest time, as actually does not have a time in this. Makes the turn at the 100-yard mark. 50 under, right at 105.57, excuse me, 105.57 at the 100-yard mark. Harley Brown and Tucker Baldy for Macomb in 2 and 3. Dunlaps, Parker Jenkins, and Lucas Herbst in row lane 4 and 5. Final turn at the start finish in for Herbst at 146.78. Coming to the start-finish line. There's the winner down there coming to the start-finish line. Herbst is going to touch out at 2:29.94, 2:29.94 for Lucas Herbst. He'll have the fastest time thus far. I got an extra headset for anybody that knows what's going on. I'll take the help.
Excuse me.
All right. Derek, welcome to the headset. I don't even know your last name.
Ammerman.
Derek Ammerman.
Coach
Where are you
Peoria,
from?
Notre Dame.
Peoria, Notre Dame coach. Okay. Mr. Horrell just came up and said, here's a guy that can help you. So,
well, they asked. I was like, I can help you. You know, we're done after the 200 free relay. So after that, hopefully I can help you out as best as I can between now and then.
Well, I appreciate that greatly. 2:29.94, the first 200-yard freestyle. Where's that in a time?
So it's probably a relatively new swimmer here, so I would expect that that's actually pretty good.
That's by far the best time that was in that group. He came in with no time.
Okay.
So the fastest was Tucker Baldy with
Lucas.
a 250. Yeah, it's Lucas
So
Herbst.
Lucas is actually Dunlap's diver.
Really?
Yeah, but they swim their divers as well. Lucas actually swam for me back in the day for Paw, so that's actually a pretty good time for him. You got the guy who's in lane 3 from Macomb. You got Tucker.
Yep.
He was seated at a 250,
Yep.
and he's now at a 306, and that 250 is probably what he did last year. So they've only had 2 weeks to get in shape, so a lot of them aren't going to be that close to their times right now just because they've only had 2 weeks to get going, so you just got to get them prepped, and then throughout the season his time will get faster as it goes, and he'll get a lot better.
So as a coach, what do you look for? Obviously, you look at their last year time, and they want to beat that at some point in the season, but how long does it take you to get to that point?
Depends on the person. I mean, if you're talking about a really, really good swimmer, like some of the better guys that we've had in the meet so far, they probably won't better their times until sectionals. And it may be at conference, but most of the time when you get the really good guys who swim year-round, it takes them a lot longer to get going. And, a lot of them actually came into the season in shape. So, but their times are so fast that it's really, really hard for them to be able to get their time over and over again, especially with the grueling high school season, because high school season is basically 13 weeks condensed, and it's just all, hammer. A lot of the coaches are just, you got to hammer this out, you got to hammer that out, and there's no there's no real, I guess, recovery from high school season. So with the USA swimming season, you have a much longer recovery period. You know, you can have days off, and in high school you can have some, but most of the time they're getting pounded. They'll do doubles, you know, they'll swim mornings, they'll swim afternoons, they'll do weights in the mornings, they'll do dry lands in the afternoons. So it's just a lot of grueling work compiled into a 13-week season. So they're going to get bombarded, they're going to get tired.
So heat number 2 is on. Now, we'll talk about the score. I'm going to read heat number 2. NCHS, what school is that?
So that's Normal Community.
Normal Community High School, okay. Ben Drake. Dunlap has Ben Anderson. Moline has Carson Stickle. That's Galesburg High School, right?
No, I believe that's Glenwood High School.
Glenwood
actually.
High School,
But
okay.
they do have the same
initials.
Yep.
Samuel McCurdy from Glenwood then. Springfield has Leo Havey, and Macomb has Jackson Thompson.
So it looks like right now Carson has got a nice, long, beautiful stroke and getting into his wall strong. I mean, it looks like a really nice swim for Carson so far.
It's funny. I mean, I do a lot of racing stuff, not swimming racing, but car racing.
Oh, I love car racing.
Sometimes it looks like you're going slower because you're smooth, but you're actually faster. If we watch these guys swimming, Carson's stroke, nice, long, and it's no splash. It's just very smooth and condensed.
And that's what we're trying to teach. We're trying to teach how to attack the water without being too forceful. You don't want to, I call it spin your wheels. And, you notice how his kick is doing a lot of the work there now in that last 50, which is what you want to do. You want to have, they want to have a steady kick throughout the race. And then, that last 50, that's when your kick takes off. You may increase the stroke tempo, but not to the point where what we were talking about, spinning your wheels. And strategy definitely plays a part in a race like this, because you're looking at over 2 minutes of work here as Carson comes in at 2:09.70. So you got over 2 minutes of work here, but the body is not used to doing 2 minutes of work, and if you take that first 50 too fast, then your body's going to shut down at the 150.
So he'd come in with his best time at 2:19.85.
Yeah, that seems like he destroyed that.
So that makes you
Ben Anderson too, another from 2:37 to 2:23. That's a nice drop.
There's some fast times in this group.
Both of those guys, good racing by them. You had Leo and Jackson that came in 2:35 and 2:35 respectively.
So now my next question is, if you run track, when you're chasing somebody, you tend to be a little bit faster. When they're in the pool, I'm sure there's some of that if they're side by side, but they probably lose that feel of that, right?
You can draft.
Can you?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I usually tell my guys when they're swimming the 500, if there's a leader, there's somebody ahead of them, I want them to get right behind them and stick on their hip, because they're using less energy than the guy who's ahead of them, especially if he's closer to the lane on the outside, because then you have his wake helping propel you forward. So it's the same thing as what you were talking about with auto racing. You get right behind the guy's bumper. You get right behind the guy's bumper, and then you just wait until that end, and then you just slingshot around him.
So it's the same kind of deal. You use their work to make your life a little easier.
Absolutely.
So you're saving gas, so to speak.
That's exactly what it is.
Race heat number 4 has Glenwood's James Wallman, Moline's Kyle Phillips, Dunlap's August Dornan, Metamora Peyton Morrison, Glenwood's William Patsia, and Glenwood's Aiden Groves. And there is a 2:09 and a couple 2:10s in this race. So,
well, I know from experience. A couple of the guys have swam with me, or they're I know them. Like for instance, Peyton Morrison, his dad is the Metamora coach. Has been the Metamora coach for at least 10 years that I can think of, and Peyton he plays football, so he doesn't come into the season in great swimming shape. Comes in good football shape, and then he's got to take a little bit of time to get, into swimming shape. But by the time this season's over, Peyton will be under, 155. So he's going to be, today he might, he'll probably go low 2 minutes. which is solid for this time of the year. Looks like Moline's really taken off today because this is the Kyle Phillips is way ahead of his time. You got August, who's out at 58.7. So you look at what their the times on the board,
Right.
57, 58, 56. If they can hold true with what they're doing 50-wise, you're looking at one of them probably going about Kyle going about 2. Let's see what they do on this 50, but I would say 202. You'll have
So what kind of a drop-off do you expect?
in the second 100.
In the second 100.
In the beginning of the season,
Yeah. Big.
yeah. Depending on how much they. So, like for instance, Peyton Morrison there. We'll take his. He was a 58.7, so that would be a 28 and a 30
Yeah.
for a split, and then his third split was a 34. So
And it'll be a little less. Now, he'll have a kick ideally, right? So
at the end of the season, absolutely.
But now right here, he may not have much
Not
of a kick.
yet. So I was a little off. I was 200, 201, so those are good.
And they
That's
both
really good swims for this time of the year.
They both are 8 and 9 seconds underneath their times,
Yeah.
their previous best. So, is that what kind of improvement are you looking for? I mean, if you're a good swimmer, your improvements are probably smaller, right? Because you come in better, ideally.
Yeah, so for this, you're not necessarily looking for time improvements. You're looking for race improvements. So you're looking for better turns, or you're looking for better underwaters, or you're looking for better race strategy, how to swim it smart.
Okay.
So the more times you do it, the smarter you are when you get to sectionals and state. So today I'm telling my guys what I want them focusing on are, parts of the race, not necessarily the time. I'm not worried about the time because time at this point is irrelevant. The only thing we want to do is just get them smarter, get them better at what they're supposed to be doing so that they can get better throughout the season.
So, I mean, the turn is probably about the most important part of the deal, almost, isn't it? I mean, no matter how fast you swim, if you can't turn, you're going to
Correct.
be in trouble, right?
Correct.
So, is that one of the biggest things you coach or teach when you're practicing? Is the turn, and you work on the turn a lot?
Absolutely. We do it daily. We focus on the turn daily because if you look at the race as a whole, no matter if it's the 200, the 500, or the 50, the start is the fastest part of the race. The turn is the second fastest part of your race. So you want to utilize that turn coming off the walls to your advantage. So we do what that's called streamline, and you have your arms up over your head behind your ears.
So heat number 4 has got some really fast times already. From Normal Community, Kenneth Willis in lane 3 has got a 1:47.47.
Oh yeah, he's the real deal.
And Wade Pyle from Normal Community has a 1:55. In lane 1 is Rowan Agrappa from Springfield. United's Ethan Ellswick is in row 2. Row 5 is Ethan Grove from Metamora and Josh Whalen from Moline in lane 6.
So if you notice Kenneth there in lane 3, he's out. If you watch his underwaters as he comes off that wall, you probably get a better shot down here with him.
We'll follow him down there through this 25 and then on the next turn.
If you watch him coming off the wall, you'll see he goes into that wall as quick as he can. He has a nice tight streamline. That's what I was talking about coming off. So he'll come into this wall here, flip, and comes off that wall, nice streamline, gets out past the flags before he even takes his first stroke.
So is there a distance that you can stay underwater on that? Do you have to come up within a certain distance?
It depends on the person. If the person is trained to be able to hold their breath longer, if they do this kind of stuff all the time, then they'll be for a great example would be a girl, I can't remember what year it was, at the high school state meet. Her name is Rachel Ridgway. She ended up doing basically underwaters all the way to halfway for the 500. But that's what she was trained to do. Ultimately, she went and swam at California, I think Cal Berkeley, or one of those California schools, and she was a phenomenal swimmer. But I mean, her underwaters were so good that she was ahead of her time as far as the high school went. This was back in early 2000s, maybe 2006, 7, something like that. But so 150, that's great time for now.
That's Willis in lane 3, right?
Yeah. And then Wade Pyle almost getting a best time, or at least season best today.
Yep, 155.95, so he's 0.4 of a second off. That's pretty consistent for this time of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. You got the kid Josh Whalen from Moline. Moline's having a great day. They're experiencing some really good time drops.
Yeah, well, Josh Whalen took 5 seconds off his time almost, under 2 minutes. So the boys' 200-yard individual medley, is that what this is coming up now?
That is correct. So it's a 50 of each of the stroke, what they call disciplines. And it starts with a 50 fly, which is the hardest stroke to swim physically because it's so demanding on your upper body and your shoulders and your core. Then it goes from the fly, then you do a 50 backstroke.
Is that so you can rest a little bit?
Yeah, I mean that's what most people think.
Is it?
It depends on.
Does it use a different set of muscles a little bit at least?
Oh yeah, yeah. So you have that, and then you go to the breaststroke, and that's probably for most IMers, I would say most IMers typically have a really really good breaststroke. You could I know people who have been fantastic at the fly back and free, and they get destroyed by breaststrokers because the breaststroke is just that much harder to master because it's a short axis stroke like fly, but you have to learn how to get that kick to go around, also to get the timing of the stroke to make sure that you're actually pushing forward while you go.
Right, because your arms are underwater kind of, right?
Correct, they are.
And your legs are underwater, and if you're not in time, then one's pushing against the other all the time, right?
Exactly. So it's exactly what it'd be. It would be kind of like an accordion, just going back and forth and back and forth. Instead, you press forward with your shoulders and your head, and then you kick, and that helps you stay long, and it keeps you moving forward a lot better. So, yeah, it's a great – for a guy who doesn't know swimming, you caught on pretty good.
Well, I mean, Michael Phelps was a cool cat back in the day.
Oh, yeah, he was all right.
He was a pretty popular dude. I think everybody learned a little bit about swimming then, but I don't claim to know a whole lot. But, I mean, I think if you step back and think about it a little bit, I did try to be an aquatics director at a Boy Scout camp, so we had to learn how to do the breaststroke
absolutely
correctly. Even though I was no good at it, I could understand because I was more like the accordion than I was the. So
well, I hate to say it, but so was I. Well, we got Adam here, who's actually one of my swimmers in the off season for. I coach Paw as well, and then the kid in lane 2 also. Tyler is one of my swimmers as well, and it looks like they're starting out the season really nice. So Adam should get in here just under 2:30. Nice, 2:27.97. And his strokes look really good. So looks like Coach Lefty's pretty excited about that.
So where does that fit in a time? Is that a good time for him, or is that a good time?
Well, I could tell you in about 20 seconds. Because right now I'm looking at I got you. Yeah, I was going to say Moline should be in first place. Yep.
So let's talk about how these points work real quick since you're sitting here.
So
now, I'm going to tell you what I understood, and you tell me if I'm right. Top 2 relay teams count for points, and top 3 individuals count for points?
I believe that's correct.
In each event, right?
Correct.
So these point totals could be pretty high by the time you get to the end, right?
Yeah. And relay points double. So if for the individual events, you're looking at 16 points for the first person, 13 for the second, 12, 11, 10, 9, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you get the top 12 scoring. For relays, it's double, so it's 32, 26, 24, et cetera.
On down.
And so a lot of coaches, especially when they're getting ready for state, they'll stack their relays so that they can score the double points in their relays up there. So depending on who they are and what – so for Adam, he hadn't swam with us. He didn't swim 200 IM since April, but That was a 5-second drop based off of 7-second drop. So good for him.
So here's another silly question. Pools swim differently?
Absolutely. It depends on how deep they are. It depends on what kind of the pool they are. It depends on what kind of blocks they have. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that goes into it.
Shallower pools
tend to be
slower?
yes.
Because there's more waves, more
Correct.
resistance, right?
So it looked like Tyler also had a little bit of drop, so that's good. It means they came into the season in pretty good shape.
This is
All
another.
right, we're moving on to page 2.
Yeah, another IM. This is Colin Clow from Macomb. Varick Vanugapulin. I'm from Macomb, and I don't even know how to pronounce that. I apologize, folks.
I mean, that was a pretty good guess.
Bryce Swanson from Moline, George Tang from Macomb, Henry Lauer from Macomb, and Joey Pactrazio from Moline. Moline's had some really good swimmers already.
Well, you
this
take
morning.
a look at this kid. Look at how much ahead of everybody he is right now. So I'm going to be leaving here for a second to go and coach my kids who are going to be in the next heat. And then I will be back here shortly because, so I've got kids here and then here and then here, and then I've got a little bit of a break.
Well, I would take any help you're willing to give.
Oh, no, I love
this.
This is fun.
This is.
I don't know how many people are listening, but
there's 20 people watching right now.
Hey, 20. Hopefully you guys are doing great.
Paul Harrington, it says, let's go. Paul, tell us where you're from.
Buddy.
We've got a live chat, so hop in there. Tell us where you're watching from. The cool thing about the way we do stuff, it's on YouTube. And so if you put into live chat who you're cheering for, where you're watching from, if the kids go back and watch themselves later, they'll be able to know who was cheering for them.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
Paul is watching from Boston, Massachusetts.
Look at this kid from Moline. Holy cow. Bryce Swanson is having himself a tremendous swim.
147 at the 100, right?
He's at 159 at the 150. So he's entered at a 252, so he'd have to go a 53 and a 53 in order to beat or in order to tie his time. He's definitely going to go way faster than that. So
the lane 1 was at 147 and
correct,
and 2, and he was at 153.
Yeah, 159 at the 150.
Right.
So
yeah.
And then we got a couple of Macomb guys here. We got who is that? That's Varick and George. And then we also got Henry. So the Macomb guys seem to be right there. So that's a 237. So he split a 38 on that. And, man, he's entered at a 252. That's a 15-second time drop from what he's entered at. That's
Bryce Swanson gets the win there. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, not too bad. I will be back in a few minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Derek stopping in and talking to us. Paul, who's your friend that's swimming? You want to take that with you?
Yeah. All right, boys, let's go.
As we're getting ready to go for heat number 3 of the IM, Bryce Swanson got the last win for Moline. Heat number 3 has Jack McFarlane from Dunlap, Keokuk's William Potratz, Peoria Notre Dame's Jake Heberer, Glenwood's James Overman, a freshman, Peoria Notre Dame's Brett Heberer, and Glenwood's Elijah Morsch here. Who did? Lane 3 got disqualified. That was Bryce Swanson. The Moline race, who ran the 237, got disqualified, I'm being told. So that's a tough break for him. Of course, maybe that's the reason why he swam the 237. I'm not real sure. But we're getting ready to go here for the 3rd heat of the 200 IM. The 50 free is up next. Look through here and see how many events we have today. We have 11 events today. The final one will be the 400-yard freestyle relay. We have the 100-yard breaststroke coming a little later. 100-yard backstroke coming later. The 200-yard freestyle relay. The boys 500-yard freestyle. The 200-yard freestyle relay. The 100-yard freestyle. Right now we've got the fourth heat, makes that the third heat of the 200-yard IM. 50-yard free is next. There'll be 8 heats of that, and then the 100-yard butterfly follows that. Not going to be a whole lot of breaks here today. It just flows right through. So once again, it's Jack McFarlane in lane 1 from Dunlap. Lane 2 is William Potratz from Keokuk. Jake Heber from Peoria Notre Dame. James Overman from Glenwood in row 4. Brett Heber in row 5 from Peoria Notre Dame. And Glenwood's Elijah Morrish in lane 6. Again, only using 6 lanes today. Lane 7 is a closed lane. Lane 8 is the cool down / warm up lane. Coming to the wall after the backstroke, 103 and 31 for lane 3. That's Jake Heber. Once again, if you're in the chat or if you're in watching, hop on the live chat. Tell us where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. We want to thank Paul for hopping in there. It's our first attempt at a swim meet here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Let you watch a little bit here. A turn at 158 there, 157. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate it. And touching the wall at 218 in lane 3 is Jake Heber. Jake came in with the best time of 2:28, so he bettered his by 10 seconds, just over. Second goes to lane 5 at 2:32. As heat number 3 in the books, win goes to Peoria Notre Dame's Jake Heber. Was that lane 1? I believe lane 1 got a disqualification. Jack McFarlane from Dunlap. Not sure what the disqualification was. We had a disqualification on the fastest swimmer in the last heat from Moline, Bryce Swanson. So we get ready to go for heat 4, the 4th and final heat of the 200-yard IM. Lane 1 is Caleb Vogel from Normal Community High School. Lane 2 is Aiden Rowe from Moline. Normal Community's Josh Fujimoto is in lane 3. Lane 4, Dunlap's Joseph Kang. Glenwood's Dylan West is lane 5, and Glenwood's William Mander is lane 6. First turn was at 25 and 22 for lane 3, Josh Fujimoto. His fastest time coming into the day is a 1:59.59. Going to make a second turn in under a minute here, it looks like. Makes the touch at 55.61 for Fujimoto. Everybody else just over a minute, 1 minute and 63 for lane number 4. That's Joseph Kang from Dunlap. He's on a good pace too. His best time was 2:11.50. Breaststroke now. Going to make the turn on the breaststroke at 1:33 and 88. 1:33 and 88. Lane 2 up to take second now. That is Moline's Aiden Rowe. It's actually what Derek said. He made a good charge with the breaststroke, and here comes, coming to the wall, your leader is going to touch up at 2:01 and 52. 2:01 and 52, a little over his best time on the season. It's going to be a close finish for second here, and it's going to go to lane number 4, Joseph Kang, with a 2:10.32, and third goes to lane number 2, Aiden Rowe from Moline. Fujimoto, is in lane 3. Aiden Rowe in lane 2 finishes in third with a 2:10 and 92. That takes 9 seconds almost off his time. Kang's finish of 2:10.32 is a little over a second better on his best time. "50-yard freestyle" is up next. I think Kyle for hopping on there for a few minutes. Grant's going to give it a whirl now. Just hang with us, folks. This is the first time we've done it, so we're trying to do what we can. It's about all we can do is the best we can do. So hopefully you're enjoying it. It is fun talking about something else, that is for sure. Nathan Botha from Notre Dame in lane 2. Lane 3 is Carter Alexander from Springfield. Metamora's Liam Udall is in row 4, and lane 5 is Springfield's Arth Vias. Again, this is the first 50-yard freestyle, and it's down and back one time. No times for any of these guys in this one prior to this event. Going to touch up. Looks like it's going to be lane 4 touching up first. It's a 28.90 for Liam Udall. $31.44 in lane 3 for Carter Alexander. Vicky, thanks for joining us. We appreciate that. Like I said, please like and share this link if you would. As we get ready to go for heat number 2. Heat number 2 has Carter Goodwin from Moline, Glenwood's Jacob Rabin, Macomb's Obi Afithile, Kale Blandford from Dunlap in lane 4. Lane 5 is Jai Velpula from Dunlap, and Seth Nowak from Metamora in lane 6. Already on their way back and touching up on the far side is going to be lane number 6, a 26.06 for Seth Nowak. Down and back in a hurry. Lane number 4 is going to finish in second. Lane number 1 was second with a 30.07. That's Carter Goodwin from Moline. And lane number 4 was in third with 38.06. That's Cale Blandford. So 26.06, the fastest time thus far. That's off the hands of lane number 6, Seth Nowak from Metamora. He came in with no time either. Heat number 3 has Weston Leonard from the Crimsons, Satima Stone from Macomb, Manur Zoe from Moline, Alex Kisby from Dunlap, the Crimson Santiago Rivera, and Macomb's Kevin Wu is in lane 6. Fastest time today, or in this heat, is a 47.14 by Manir Zoe from Moline. This is a 50-yard free. Shout out to Jackson. Who's Jackson? Jackson who? As we get ready to go here, these are going to be swimmers with times already this season. All of these swimmers do have times. We'll get faster as we go along here. And going to touch up. Looks like it's going to be lane 4, a 34.23 in lane 4 for Alex Kisby from Dunlap. 34.23, significantly faster there. Second place goes a 36.24 to lane number 5, Santiago Rivera from the Crimsons. Got a list of team scores after the first 3 events. Heat number 4 coming to the race to the pool now. Kieran Kelly from the Crimsons, Glenwood's Dinesh Gopi, Glenwood's Jackson Dewar, Macomb's Calvin Steiner, the Crimsons' Tanner Jones, and Glenwood's Mason Straw. A 42.50 for Jackson Dewar from Glenwood is the fastest. And Gorgas had to delete that comment because of the minor curse word that was in there. And a late jump in lane 5 is going to put Tanner Jones behind the 8 ball a little bit. 42.50 for Jackson Dewar is the fastest in pre-times. Lane 6 trying to keep up, but lane 3 is leading currently. That is Jackson Dewar. He's going to touch up at 31.74. 31.74, your winning time. 32.02. 32.02 is second. So Jackson Dewar is going to get the win. Lane number 1, Kieran Kelly is second. Third goes to lane 2, 34.94 of Ganesh Gopi. And lane 6 is 35.13. That's Mason Straw. Heat 5 getting ready to come to the pool now. It'll be Ian Lashari from Dunlap. Tatum Rogers in lane 2 from Moline. Kiwani's Dylan Rainwater in lane 3. Sophomore Keegan Wardrop from Moline in lane 4. Lane 5 is freshman Glenwood from Glenwood, Yejun Su. And Keokuk's Reese Mangus, a freshman in lane 6. 35.90 for both Rainwater and Wardrop are the 2 fastest times in this heat prior to this event. Lane 2 coming to the wall first. A 32.04 for lane 2. And that's Tatum Rogers out of Moline, taking 4 seconds off his fastest time. Second goes to 32.56 in lane 1 for Ann Lashari. Heat 6 coming to the track now, or to the, see, I'm used to doing racing. Everything's to the track, not to the pool. Heat 6 is Anaruda Capilli from Moline, Aiden Lemons from Peoria Notre Dame, Chronix Boliser from Springfield, Evan Wash from Moline, lane 4, Evan Santiago from Dunlap in lane 5, and Irish and Peoria Notre Dame's Bryce On is in lane 6. 31.35, the fastest in lane 3 coming in. Lane 2 is coming to the wall first. Good race to the wall. Lane 2 will get it. 27.39 for lane 2's Aiden Groves. Aiden Lemons, from Peoria Notre Dame. I was in the wrong one. Aiden Groves is lane 2 of heat 7, which is coming to the pool now. So Aiden Lemons from Peoria Notre Dame gets a 27.39 and wins heat number 6. Heat number 7, Conrad Martin from Springfield's in lane 1. Lane 2 from Glenwood's Aiden Groves. Lane 3 from Springfield, John Paul Moore. Dunlap's Matthew Gong, a senior's in lane 4. Lane 5 is the Crimson's Camden Impey, a senior, and Glenwood's Dominic Trapani is in lane 6. 27.35 by John Paul Moore is the fastest coming in. Looks like lane 4 is going to tap first at 25.31. Some good finishes right there down the stretch. 25.31 the fastest. 26.93 in lane 6. 25.31 for lane 4 is Matthew Gong, the senior from Dunlap, taking nearly 2 seconds off his time. And the final heat for the 50 free coming up now. Jackson Vinzant from Glenwood, Camden Malinowski from Normal Community, Keokuk's Brendan Worcester, Monmouth Roseville's Anders Berggren in lane 4, Springfield's Logan Allen lane 5, and Normal Community's Dominic Williams in lane 6. 23.10 from Brendan Worcester from Keokuk is the fastest time to date in this one. And it is fast. It looks like he's going to be the fastest in this heat as he's coming to the wall. A very close finish again. And it's going to be a 22.54. A 22.54 for Brendan Worcester. Takes over a half a second off his time. Second goes to lane 5. Lane 5 was Logan Allen. And third goes to lane 2, which was Camden Malinowski from Normal Community. So we're going to take a very short break, it sounds like. We'll take one as well, and we'll tell you this broadcast being brought to you by McDonough District Hospital. And we'll take a break and be back in just a couple minutes.
Minimally invasive surgery offers a variety of benefits to the patient. We are now able to offer patients a variety of operations with small incisions rather than big open incisions. The surgeries that we can do now, minimally invasive, include bariatrics, hernia repair, colorectal surgeries, faster recovery, smaller incisions, faster time back to work.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
I see acute injuries on the field. I see ankle sprains. I see ACL knee injuries, as well as in the clinic. It's very rewarding to see them from on the field injury to rehab to transition back to their event.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today and make your voice heard.
It was the community that really drew me back to Macomb. I'm from a small community, and I'm from a farm family, and ultimately I always wanted to practice in a place like that, and I felt that I had the ability to connect to people who with a similar background from me, and the fact that the staff members at the hospital and the support, all the support staff at the hospital was also focused with the goal of patient care. It felt like it just all came hammered at home for me.
At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there is limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
All right, welcome back. We're here now with Wanda Foster, the Vice President of Nursing and Clinical Administration. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Well, what we're going to talk about today is some of the opportunities that are available at MDH for students, whether they be high school students, Spoon River College students, or Western students. MDH has a lot of opportunities to be involved and to learn, right?
We absolutely do. And we look so forward to having students here. We are a clinical site for Western Illinois University and their bachelor's program for nursing, as well as for Spoon River College nursing students and others that are doing some independent study. We welcome students, and we also encourage high school students. If you would like to learn more about nursing, we would love to meet with you. And there are opportunities at the hospital also where they can apply for jobs here, for positions. So we work closely with our nursing students, and we hope to recruit them and attract them and want to come back.
I know that publicly there's been a shortcoming or a shortage of nurses, right? And I know that every hospital and every nursing home and every clinical place period is searching for nurses. So how important is it for MDH to have these groups work with them, whether it be MDH or be Spoon River College or whatever the case may be? How important is it for MDH to then recruit those nurses to stay here and work as a profession?
It's very important. We want nursing students to feel very comfortable here, to enjoy their clinical experience and their opportunities here. And then we want them to feel very comfortable, to give them a good orientation. We hire new graduates, of course, into our acute care area as well as the intensive care unit. We hire new graduates in the emergency room, in home health and hospice, in our OB department, and our surgery department. These are all areas that new graduates can come into. We certainly give them a robust orientation. No one starts on their own until they feel completely ready. They have a mentor certainly with them, and we want to give them the best start for success that we can. And then there are many areas of specialty they can choose to go into. Nursing is a very unique field. You can work full-time, you can work part-time if you need to take time off for some reason. It's a field that you can kind of step into a little bit more than maybe some other fields in healthcare. We also have scholarships available through our auxiliary, through the hospital, and then once someone is an employee here, we do have some tuition reimbursement. So we will certainly help with that.
And going back to the scholarships and the shortages that are across the board, not necessarily at MDH, but everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right? So everywhere.
this is a profession that you can make a good living at and be pretty sure to have a job, right? So
absolutely.
This is a profession that high schoolers that are playing these sporting events or high schoolers that are watching these sporting events should consider, I would imagine.
Yes, very much so. You will always be assured to have a job, a career in nursing. I hate to call it just a job because you really want someone on that career path who has that passion for caring for people, for providing nursing care. Through your education and through your orientation, we can teach you your skill set. But if you have that passion and the desire to be in the nursing profession, you will do fine.
Yeah, a career and a job, while they might be listed as the same thing, they're really not, correct? I mean, if your career is being a nurse, you're probably going to enjoy it a lot more than if it's a job, right?
That's right. And you don't go into it first and foremost for the money. You go into it because that's what you want to do with your life, and the money certainly will follow.
Yeah, and that goes for anything probably,
yes.
But the nice thing is right now, whether the money's good or bad, there's always going to be a job.
There will.
If you can get through the schooling and you can learn to love what you're doing, there's always going to be a job for you, right?
And it's not something for high school graduates exclusively. We have many people who have made changes midlife. We have people who have retired from their career in one thing and have chosen to go into nursing. So it's open for any age, and we certainly welcome that.
And you mentioned there's different areas of expertise for nurses. People think of that for doctors, but it's really that same way for nurses, right? I mean, you can be a surgical nurse and really become a great surgical nurse, or you can become a great ICU nurse, or you can do all those things.
Yes.
But if you really want to focus on something, or be at OB, which you guys have a great OB department here, if that's what you want your focus to be and you really love working with expected and new mothers and young babies, you can do that, right?
You can do that. We also have positions in our MDH physician clinic practices as well. And if you are in nursing and you can choose to specialize in a certain department, you can choose to go on and be a director or a clinical care coordinator. You can go back to school and become a nurse practitioner, become a certified registered nurse anesthetist. You can go many different directions and really as high as to whatever extent in your education you would like to pursue.
Well, Wanda, thanks for coming and talking to us. We greatly appreciate it. I know that there's probably specific places within MDH that they can reach out to, correct? Is there somewhere that they need to call if they're interested?
I would call our human resource department and start there, and then they can help direct and guide you. They can tell you about openings that we currently have. All of our current positions are listed on our MDH website, www.mdh.org. But certainly any positions for high school students, if they would like to start somewhere within the organization or volunteer experience, reach out to Human Resources and they can help direct you.
Well, again, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm going to have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I thought about the staff of MDH, they're all good. And you will get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today, and make your voice heard.
I chose MDH. We moved here and I was researching different places that would allow me to VBAC, have a vaginal birth after C-section, and the doctors here do encourage that, and so I chose that after looking online, and I wouldn't want to deliver anywhere else because they all go above and beyond, and they're so kind and actually care about you.
And we're getting close to being back here for the restart. We did take a 10 or 15-minute break there. Can't tell you if I can find all my sheets now. after 4 events. Normal Community is the team leader with 133 points. Dunlap second, 121. Moline is third with 118. Glenwood fourth with 95. Fifth is Metamora. They have 80 points. Springfield is sixth with 75. Peoria Notre Dame is seventh with 52. Keokuk has 29. Macomb has 27. Jacksonville has 17. Monmouth Roseville has 15. And United has 7 points. And the medal count looks like this. Normal Community has 2 gold medals, 2 silvers, a bronze. 2 golds in individual, 1 silver in the relay. And Dunlap has a gold and a silver. Keokuk has a gold. Springfield has a silver. And Moline has 3 bronzes, 2 individuals and a relay. The Springfield is an individual silver. Keokuk's is an individual silver, or individual gold, excuse me. And Dunlap has an individual silver and a relay gold as we get ready to go here. And Derek is back with us.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back. The live chat opened up a little bit. What are we going with next? It's the 100-yard butterfly?
Fly. The hardest, well, like I said, the fly is the hardest stroke there is. I think the hardest swimming event there is. It's not a high school event. It would be the 200 long course fly. Physically speaking, it takes a very demanding toll on your body.
Riley Herr in lane 2 from Springfield. Lane 3 is Parker Jenkins from Dunlap. And Kevin Wu from Macomb, a freshman, has no time in lane 4.
I'm going to give a shout-out now to Heather Budak, the coach of the Normal Community Ironmen. She was like, yeah, Derek does this stuff. I was like, oh, heck yeah, I'd do this in a heartbeat. So this is fun. So the chat opened up, I see. Shout-out to Jackson. He's my goat, so.
Yeah, he followed that with a cuss word. That's why I had to delete it. But not a bad cuss word, just, I mean, the kind of cuss word that doesn't offend me, but it would offend somebody.
Somebody else,
you know.
I understand.
You can almost use it on TV now, but not quite. That kind of cuss word, you know?
Well, unless you're watching Yellowstone, and then you can, it's any cuss word you can.
Yeah, that's they get away with that because it's streamed. It's a streaming only.
That's right.
So actually, technically, I don't have to delete anything, and I could say anything I wanted to. But A, I'm at a high school event.
I was going to say it probably wouldn't be good for the Macomb high school.
Right, and B, people would be offended. So I try to be a smidge more professional than that.
It's like Parker Jenkins is going to destroy his time.
There's been a lot of that today.
Oh, my gosh, yes. There's been a really good meet for time drops. A lot of teams, they'll go in the beginning of the year and they'll do time trials, and they'll time trial every event, and then they'll take those time trials.
So I got a question for you. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Not at all.
Parker there, that's who finished. Yeah, Parker just finished with a time of 1:42.94. Not wearing a hat, a cap, and has long hair. Does that really slow you down much?
I would say, honestly, yes, it can, because that's more drag to your body, and especially if you're not an efficient swimmer, it just makes it a lot more difficult.
So you're telling me for me it would be a huge deal?
Absolutely.
I got enough stuff holding me back.
Well, I got to tell you, my body shape, just my gut alone is very non-hydrodynamic.
Yeah, I was going to say, swimming and I can float really well. Does that count for anything?
Absolutely, it does.
Okay. Well, that would be
especially when you're down in
the deep
Caribbean with a couple of toddies. That's always floating is a good thing for that.
That's true. Tucker Baldy in lane 1. Lane 2 is Justin Chin from Dunlap. Ethan Arndt from Normal Community in lane 4, and lane 5 is another Macomb swimmer, Henry Lauer, and a 1:27.45 is the fastest here.
Not for long.
They're moving right along,
I can
aren't they?
tell you that right now. Unless something dramatic happens, Justin Chen is going to destroy his time that he did at his time trials. I would not be surprised to see Justin go around to 112, maybe a 113 here. And it's entered at a 127. That would be.
Seems like that should be a really fast time.
It's funny because, you know, you'd think that, and then you look across the state and you find out that it's not as fast as you would think it is.
I'm doing two things at once here. I apologize.
It's nice that Gorgas, I think it's Gorgas Khan, said my bad. So he was.
No, Gorgas, it's not a big deal, man. No big deal. That's by far not the worst thing that's ever been said. A 119.34.
Yeah,
and
118.5. So
from 130 down to 118, you'll probably take that improvement.
Oh, absolutely. Ethan came in on that last 25 and kind of touched out Justin there, so ended up taking first here, but still very nice time drops.
Yeah, Ethan went from 130 to 118.
Yeah.
And Justin went from 127 to 119, so those are both
pretty big.
Really good. Now, times are really good in this pool. Does that mean this is a good pool to swim in, or does it just mean the kids are making those kind of steps right now at this point in the season?
Yeah, they're making their steps because, you know, like as I was talking about, they usually do the those kind of time trials, and then a lot of teams will use those time trials. So that was something they did 2 weeks ago when a lot of them weren't in any kind of shape whatsoever. So now they've got a little bit under their belt, so they're able to go faster.
Heat number 3 of the 100-yard butterfly is Bryce Swanson from Moline in lane 1. Macomb's George Tang in lane 2. Lane 3 is Dunlap's Connor Devana. Lane 4 is Kyle Phillips from Moline, who was really fast earlier
and
got disqualified, actually.
Yeah.
James Walleman. James Walleman from Glenwood and Devin Brannon from Moline.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going down to get ready to work with my boys, and I heard him say stroke infraction. So
what does that mean?
So it means one of the strokes, maybe he might have had a one-hand touch, or he didn't do on the fly or breaststroke, or he turned over on the back to breast turn. I mean, there's so many different things that you could do that could cause a stroke infraction. So it was not specified, but I know that he's not doing it right now because he's getting faster throughout the race.
And he's going to touch up here. This should be it right here.
104.0, nice.
And 106 to follow. That's not bad either.
4 and 2 second time drops at the beginning of meet. That's pretty darn solid.
Kyle Phillips, a 104. And Connor Devana dropped 2 seconds himself.
Yeah. Tell you what, both Dunlap and Moline are swimming pretty well today.
Good times. I mean, these times, like I said, I don't know a lot about the times, but judging by what they've got, it's their best time coming in. I mean, everybody seems to be improving for the most part. Heat 4, the fourth and final heat, coming out now, and it's going to be Mateo Calderon from Glenwood, Will Hovey from Springfield in lane 2. Lane 3, Josh Svab from Normal Community, a 57.57 is his best time. Normal Community's Logan Goss, a freshman, is a 59.59. And then Glenwood's Dylan West is lane 5, and the Crimson's Colin Wilson is lane 6.
I'm not sure who the Crimsons are.
I'm not either.
I'm going to have to figure that one out. Looks like Josh is out the way he should be. Will Hovey, though, is giving him a nice race to start.
27.07.
Come back in a 30-point. He'll have a 57, which would be right around his time.
So you say that like that's what you would expect?
In mid-season, yes. Here, maybe not. It depends. You know, right now, Josh, who's been training with Bloomington Normal Swim Club, he should be somewhat close, maybe a 58.
He's going to come close to what you said.
Yeah, 57.84. Okay, so right there. Yep. And then Will Hovey, he was entered at a 006, went 00 flat, so just missed breaking that minute barrier.
Yeah, Logan Goss in lane 4 kind of fell off there towards the end, didn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. And that's to be expected in the beginning I must go and.
You don't want. You lost your glasses there. I'll grab those. You go ahead and do what you need to do. You good? I'll reach down here and grab some. Did they just disqualify somebody? There's some. Oh, they're going up now. This is the 100-yard freestyle. Reeves says, let's go, Bryce. Well, again, 100-yard freestyle heat race number 1. Seth Nowak from Metamora is in lane 2. Carter Alexander, lane 3 from Springfield. And Andrew Buss from Metamora is lane 4. All of these come in with no times prior. Did they hit the wall?
Yeah, they basically kicked it with their shins. He just whacked his Achilles on the...
Not a very good turn there for Luke standing here behind me just hurting him. It's hurt him. Still going to get the win, though. At 56-66. Paul, thanks for hopping in. 56-66 in lane 4 for Andrew Buss. And the first of 8 heats for the 100-yard freestyle. Now, he, I think it was Buss there, it smacked his shins on the turn. A little late on the turn.
No, it was
closer here?
Yeah,
lane 2.
That's who coach is looking at. It was Seth Nowak. If Drew Buss would have hit his heels on the wall, then he'd have to have a talk with his
coach,
his club coach.
Would that be you?
Yeah, it would be.
Heat number 2 for the 100-yard free. Carter Goodwin from Molene's lane 2. Lane 3 is Jai Velpula from Dunlap. Metamora's Tyler Minder is lane 4, and lane 5 is Peoria Notre Dame's Nathan Botha.
So I can tell you this without hesitation. This is one of the things that I love about coaching swimming. You take a look at lane 5, who's my kid Nathan, and then you look at the kid in lane 3, who is a Dunlap kid. And I know from talking to their coaches, these are both brand new swimmers. Like, they did not know how to do anything 2 weeks ago. They had, they only recreationally had ever been in the water. You're looking at my guy here. He's touching at a 46 was when his hand touched. But this is so incredible to watch this and be able to watch how great he's doing in just 2 weeks' time. And then you got the kid here, Tyler Minder, who's one of my club swimmers, who just went a 102.4, which dropped his time by like 3 seconds. So you just, there's so much diversity in this sport, and that's why I love coaching this sport. Look at this. Nathan told me the other day there's no way he was going to swim the 100.
No way, huh?
That's what he said. He said, no way, I won't be able to do it. And I said, watch.
And he's going to come in third in this one, it looks like.
Yep. And I predicted he was going to come in around 2 minutes, and he's going to
shoot that out of the water, isn't he?
Yeah, lamb-based any predictions that I ever had.
There he is, a 142.
Hey, I told you could make it.
142.26. Derek stands up and has to give a word of encouragement to a kid who swims. Is this his first meet then?
Yes, that's
first
ever meet, first ever swims today.
And the last
Lefty,
one.
Is he all right? Does he need ice? Okay.
Coach Horrell can get him ice. We should have an athletic trainer here somewhere too, probably.
Thank you, sir. Hey, is he all right?
Pretty hard kick on the wall there. Seth Nowak.
Well, you know, he should learn how to do those, turns, since he's going to have to do tough position turns.
You've missed a little bit, Paul, but not a lot. We came back after the break, and this is the first set of stuff after the break, I do believe. And touching up here.
You missed the fly, Paul.
Did he miss the fly? Was he gone for the old fly?
I don't know if he was gone for the fly or not, but if he had missed anything, that would be the one that he would have missed. So
a 241.81 was the touch up there at the last. Third heat. Okay, Alex Kisby from Dunlap in lane 1. Lane 2 is Jacob Rabin from Glenwood. Jean Sue from Glenwood in lane 3. Dunlap's Stanley Chin in lane 4. Macomb's Diego Miami Nables. And I apologize if I'm butchering some of these names, folks. Is lane 5. And in lane 6, Dunlap's Cale Blanford. Once again, 100-yard freestyle right now. Going to turn the first 50. Going to be close at the first 50 here between lanes 4 and 5. That is Stanley Chin and Macomb's Amy Nables. Very close race. Get lane 4 and 5 side by side up there. As the pennants kind of make it out of focus. We apologize for that.
Looks like we got a nice race coming here. Got the kid from Macomb racing the kid from Macomb. And the kid from Macomb wins.
Yeah, lane 5, 128.22. It's actually Dunlap's.
Oh, my bad. I was looking at the wrong heat. So
we're in heat 3, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
That's correct.
Stanley Chin from Dunlap was in lane 4, but the win goes to Macomb's Diego Miami Nables.
And then
as he gets the win.
Dunlap's Alex Kishy dropped 31 seconds.
Oh,
I was just talking about the race for second, those two right there. So
lane 3
was
a scratch. Yeah. That's why it's blank there. Heat 4 coming up now. Mason Strawn from Glenwood. Dinesh Gopi from Glenwood's in lane 2. Aiden McCoy from Moline's lane 3. Caden Knobloch from Macomb is lane 4. Macomb's Jeremy Tashibi is lane 5, and Keokuk's Reese Mangus is lane 6.
I got to give
for anybody that doesn't know what stationary means.
To Coach Pittman of the Macomb swim team. She is one of my favorites to coach with on a deck. She likes to have fun. She likes to encourage her kids. But she, every now and then she's known to throw a sarcastic comment here or there, which is what she just did, and it was
the starter
hilarious.
The starter says, "You got to stay stationary," and Coach Pittman says, "That means you can't move."
And here comes another Moline swim coming out of nowhere. Aiden McCoy. Boy, Moline looks to be having a solid meet.
Yeah, after 4 events, they were actually just 3rd in points, though.
Yeah.
Thanks partially because of the disqualification.
Right.
That hurt them a lot, I would imagine.
I imagine they probably lost 7 points in that. Maybe anywhere from 3 to 7.
coming here for the finish of the 100 free heat race number 4, right?
Yep.
Molene's
1:13.0 for
Aiden
Aiden
McCoy.
That's a 14-second time drop.
You know, I don't think I could run. I don't think I could swim 25 meters in 1:13.
Oh, no. I can't either. Jeremy Tashibi, second, 1:23. That's a 9-second drop. And then for third, you've got Caden Knobloch from Macomb, 1:28.02. He came in at 1:28.00, so he just added a 200th. So good swims across the board.
Once again, like and share this on your YouTube if you would, please. Got 26 people watching now.
All right.
Going the right direction.
These 26 people are awesome.
They are, aren't they? Almost as awesome as the coach who's willing to help me.
No, I wouldn't go that far. These people are more awesomer.
More awesome. Is that a word?
Oh, it is now.
It is now?
Yeah.
We're gonna call Webster and get that put in the dictionary. This is heat race number 5. Evan Wash from Glenwood in lane 3. Lane 4, Kyler Glau from Macomb. Emiliano Riviera from the Crimsons in lane 5. And Neruda Capilli from Moline is in lane 6. This is
I would say
5.
Anirudh Kapuli. Or Kapuli. Yeah, no, forget that. I'm not even going to try anymore.
Anirudh
You're doing
Capilli?
a lot better than I am.
Capilli?
Kupili.
Capilli?
Kupili. That's
Capilli?
what I would say. Yeah.
Capilli? Well, we're going to go with that then.
Emiliano. I'm going to go that is a either Spanish or Italian name.
As we had some.
Looks like, we've got Macomb coming in. Kyler Glau. Oh, and lane 1. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Lane 1 here is going to ended up finishing here. Oh, my gosh, it's Moline.
We can't even see lane 1.
Yeah.
109.
109. He was entered at a 126. That's a definite time drop. Wow.
We'll take that, won't you?
Absolutely, I would in a heartbeat. McCurdy second from Glenwood was at 120. He went 111. There's a good time drop. And then third was Kyler Glau, 124. He went 114. That works. That's some good swimming. Let's go, Aiden.
Heat 6 now. Lane 1, the Crimson's Edgar Galena. Peoria Notre Dame's Aiden Lemons. Macomb's Jack Buchanan in lane 3. Glenwood's Liam Huntley in lane 4. Kiwani's Dylan Rainwater in lane 5. And Moline's Tatum Rogers in lane 6.
Well, Aiden, I was telling to control the first 50, but I think he might be taking a little too much control. I will not be surprised if he actually negative splits this 100. And he's doing his 12s, though. He's doing his underwaters the way that I want him to.
So that's
looks like we got the Macomb guys out. Or no, that's Glenwood. I was looking at the cap. And
yeah, it's hard to tell when they're in the water, isn't it?
Liam Huntley. Okay, so let me see
lane
here.
4.
He's out 34.5.
A 32.6 for lane 3, Jack Buchanan from Macomb.
So if you want to watch.
31.8 in lane 1.
And then you got lane 1 who's going to Edgar Galvana from the Crimsons. I'd love to know who the Crimsons are.
We need to find that out, don't we?
And here comes Aiden Lemons making his
negative split charge.
Yes, he'd have to go 108 to negative split it, but so 104.4 here for Liam Huntley.
110 and 109 in the near lane, lane 1, 109 for Edgar Galena. Lane 3 picked up the win. Lane 2 got third. That's Aiden Lemons.
Yeah.
A 110. So he didn't have a negative split.
35, but he was pretty darn close. So not too shabby. Smart swim. Right.
The heat race number 7 is
Allen.
Bryce Allen from Peoria, Notre Dame. Keokuk's Gunnar Bigelow. Normal Community's Ben Drake. Dunlap's William Dornan. Springfield's Chronix Boliser. And Dunlap's Taryn Shrinivis.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Billy Boy Dornan really sandbagged his time trials a little bit there.
A 109.66 coming in.
And he went out in a 28-1. That would mean that he would have to go a 41.
Well, you got math skills.
Oh, when you
it's
do
almost
this
like
for
you
as
do this
long
all
as-
the time.
Yeah, I've done this for a few years, so.
He is flying. So smooth.
Yeah. Well, William's been swimming forever. I mean, I've known his parents. I've known him since he was 10.
He's going to touch it up at
59.1, so he
59.60.
only dropped 10 seconds from
Only.
Yeah. Second is going to be his teammate, and then my guy, Bryce Allen, coming in third, 108.3. That's a nice time drop there.
Yeah, it's a 6-second time drop. You'll take that too, won't you, Coach?
Oh, I will. Nice job, Bryce.
Heat 8, the final heat of the 100-yard free is Dominic Williams from Normal Community in lane 1. Rowan Ugrappa from Springfield in lane 2. Lane 3 is Leighton Turk from Glenwood. Monmouth Roseville's Anders Berggren in row 4. Row 5 is Kiwani's Emmett Brokaw and Springfield's Conrad Martin. Leighton Turk comes in with a 49.54 as his best time.
Too, Leighton Turk. I mean, that's just such a cool name.
We'll turn you up a little bit more so everybody can.
Although you got Anders Berggren, that's another cool name.
There's been some good names here.
Rohan Ugrappa, Emmett Brokaw. I mean, this is a heat of cool people.
Touching up at 24.48.
Yep, that's a good solid. He'll probably end up going about a 50-point, I would say, here.
He's already back at the other end doing his turn.
Yep.
At 42 seconds. Lane 4 is hanging right there, though.
Oh, yeah. Anders is a good, solid swimmer.
Touch up at 51-51.
53-1 for Anders. I know that's his lifetime best time, so he's not going to get that right in the middle of the in the beginning of the season. So.
Leighton Turk, a 51-51 for the Heat 8 run, and that's the fastest time, too, isn't it?
Yep.
So he'll get a gold medal in that?
A gold medal.
No?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he's the winner.
So the boys' 500-yard freestyle coming up next. And I heard him ask for lap counters.
So, yeah, in order for the kids to swim the 500, they need to have somebody down at the other end who will count their laps, because it's very easy to get lost when you're trying to focus on so many other things during a 500.
So they'll yell at you as you get there saying you're at whatever?
Well, all they got to do is just look up, and the counter it's actually a
board?
plastic board that you put in there. It's got 1, 3, 5, so whatever length they're on when they go that way to the other side will be what they end up showing on the counter.
Do they show a 1?
Some people do, some people don't. I mean, it seems to me like, my wife actually she was a distance swimmer in high school and college, and she didn't want to see anything until 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, it just makes you something else to think about, right?
Absolutely. Exactly.
Right. I can see why you wouldn't.
The only reason why you wouldn't want to know is if you're using the counter to send signals to the swimmer whether or not they're swimming faster or slower, and a lot of coaches do that. A lot of coaches will be like, tell them to go up and down to pick it up a little bit. Some coaches will just keep it steady the whole way, and so it just depends on what.
I guess that is a good way to signal, isn't
Absolutely.
it? I mean,
yeah.
Is that legal?
Absolutely.
Oh, it is
legal.
Yeah.
I mean, because every swimmer has that opportunity. Now, whether or not coaches or somebody engage it, that's something. I mean, it's basically the same thing as if coach is on the side and the swimmer looks over while the coach is going like this, or doing whatever kind of hand signals they're doing on the side to let them know, hey, you need to pick it up a little bit. Oh, we've got a little downtime.
We've got some downtime here. This will be a long race, right? The 500. Here's
It is.
After 6 events, The leader is still Normal Community with 187 points. Dunlap second with 156. Moline third with 147. So they'd probably still be in third even without that disqualification, right? Glenwood is fourth with 143. Springfield fifth with 123. The only other team with more than 100 points is Metamora with 115.
Hey, at least we're leading the B group.
You are. You are. But you also haven't had near as many swimmers as those guys.
Well, we have 5 guys here, 2 of which have never swam. So my guys are holding their own. They're doing a good job. But, I mean, everybody's having a great meet so far, it looks like.
Lane 2's Harley Brown from Macomb. Lane 3 is Leo Harvey from Springfield, and lane 4, Evan Santiago from Dunlap. Harley Brown is an 11:19.67. So
I think Harley's going to destroy that today.
I think you're right.
I mean, just based on this first 50, I think he's going to have a nice 2-minute time drop here.
And I'm guessing Harley's probably not a regular swimmer, so another one of those kids would probably come out.
I would say he's probably swam. This is not. Let's see here. What year is he? He is a junior, so I would say that he's probably swam. Hold on for a quick sec. Jake, I'll be right down. I'd say he's probably swam for the last 2 years, high school, and then he probably does other activities, comes back in, gets in swimming shape. He's able to do his 500 and whatever else his coach wants to put him in.
And really, you kind of need swimmers like that too, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
one of my favorite things was watching my kid Nathan, who didn't even know how to swim 2 weeks ago, and now he's swimming 100 free like it was nothing. And he said it felt great. So, that, and I shout out to my other coach, my co-head coach Tracy Miller, who works with the newbies, the new swimmers. She does such a great job in getting them prepared and ready to go for meets. She works with all the techniques. She does the starts, she does the turns, and all that stuff. So it's nice to have coaches that help you make your swimmers better.
Okay, now here's a silly question.
Probably not.
So at some point here, the leaders are going to lap. If Harley,
really?
It never starts really
Not
fighting
really.
you?
No, it's usually. I mean,
you're always meeting people coming and going, but
correct.
But I didn't know if that would be any kind of a. In a
no,
500,
it would be the same thing as what it looks like right there when they're crossing paths. One's going that way, one's going the other. If anything, it would help Harley because those waves are going to be coming from behind him. So, but generally speaking, there's not enough that would hinder or help his performance. So, and I will be right back. I'm going to go talk to my guys.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir. My pleasure. So we are in the 500 free, which is going to take a little bit of time here. See the boards down there as they talked about. 5. $500 is 10 laps, if my math is correct. 25 down and back is 50, so that means they have to go down and back 10 times. I don't think I could even walk down and back 10 times, let alone swim down and back 10 times. Remember when I was in college, I worked at the Western Courier on Western Illinois University's campus. It was my first job as a journalist. And we had a swimmer, Michael was his name, and he would write stories for us. And he was on the Western swim team. His body fat percentage was 4%, is what he told us when they did a body fat test. I probably don't have 4% muscle, let alone 4% fat. As they're at 11 down there. Should be nearing the halfway point here, or past the halfway point, actually. So I kind of feel like I'm announcing racing again, and I'm on a long green flag run, and everybody's spread out, and you don't know what to talk about.
Well, okay, so, usually, because I do this for Illinois swimming as well, so, club teams, when they have their big meets after high school season, stuff like that, and we love this time of, because then you can ask those questions. What's a strategy for a 500, or what's a breathing pattern here, or, what do you teach your kids and stuff like that. So this is our favorite part. We'll talk about the race. We'll be like, and right now you got Leo, who is on length 15. You got this guy, Evan, coming in, finishing at 14, and then you've got, let's see here. So we got Harley, who is entered at 11:19, and he should be on length 11, I think. I don't think he should be on length 9. I think he should be on length 11 because they only lapped him twice, I thought. But maybe I could be wrong on that. Either way, so now, we would talk about race strategy. I'd ask him, he'd ask me what, because coaches have different ways that they, teach how to swim a 500. The big thing, is 500 is becoming more of a sprint now than it is a distance race. And
how do you? It's like a 400 or an 800. They say is a sprint now.
Correct.
At track.
Exactly.
And when I helped with track, 800 was a distance run.
Exactly.
And now they almost sprint the whole thing.
Well, they almost sprint the mile too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got guys who are going 3 whatever in their mile. Ever since Steve Prefontaine first broke that 4-minute barrier, you just got guys doing it. They just sprint the whole thing, and that's kind of what's happening here with the upper tier guys in the state. They do sprint the whole thing, but they still have. I mean, it's not really a sprint. I'd say it's more of a race pace.
Right.
So they have this pace that they're supposed to hold throughout the whole thing. And what you do is during practice, you work on that entirely throughout your practice, and all you do is you'll do, and you don't have to do anything long. You can just do hundreds at 500 race pace, and you can say this one you need to hold this, and then this one you need to hold this time or whatever, and then it gets their body prepared to be able to do that in a race. So that's the fun part about going through. Hold on real quick.
As we are still in the 500 here, the horn is finished at a 7:28. A 7:28 for Leo Harvey. Little over his seed time.
I completely forgot I just used last year's. Yeah, you're welcome. Right.
And the second finishing time is 7:59.71. That's for Evan Santiago from Dunlap.
Who had that's a 38-second time drop there.
Yeah, actually Havey went a little over his time.
Yeah. It depends on, some coaches will use last year's times as a base. Some coaches will use whatever they do at their time trials at the beginning of the year. So, our swims were based off of more time trials, not their best times. Like this guy here, Brett, I believe his best time in the 500 is a 542, coming up in this next heat, one of my swimmers. And at the time trial, he went 6:02 because he's not ready.
Right.
He's not. So he should go faster than a 6:02 in here. Now, that's entirely up to him, and if he doesn't, I'm going to have to make fun of him in front of all these 23 people that are listening right now. So 23 people, you guys, make sure you guys get up and cheer for Brett that I don't have to make fun of him, okay?
So he race number 2 for the 500 free.
Oh, we still got a little bit.
Will look like this when it's ready to go here. It's going to be Ben Anderson from Dunlap, Philip Kelly from Macomb, Aiden Rowe from Moline, Peoria Notre Dame's Brett Heber. Is that how you say that?
Heber.
Heber. Yep. And Springfield's John Paul Moore is the final.
Why do I feel colonial when I hear that name?
I think, you know what? It's kind of like when you hear John like John Boy or so. I think of the Waltons.
Absolutely.
You know.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's that John Paul just.
Oh yeah, John
seems
Paul
like
Jones,
that from,
or yeah.
Just seems like it's from that era, right?
Well, I may have been. I mean, I was under the impression that he was going to beat his time from here. He probably won't, because he's got a minute and 10 seconds to go 5 lengths. So definitely not going to break his time, but he's still putting in a very good effort. I like the fact that he doesn't quit. You know, I've seen kids that have I've seen really, really good swimmers that get in their own brain and it becomes a mind game with them, and they ended up, stopping in a race, coming up with some kind of excuse.
Right.
Here's a kid who could come up with an excuse if he wanted to, but he's not embarrassed. He's trying. He's putting forth all the effort that he can, and
He's like, wait, I thought I was done.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, he's like, all right.
He thought he was done too.
I think he did think he was done. So
he stopped like he thought he was done, and he's got the whole crew cheering him on there.
Look at the Macomb boys over there. See, that's what I like about this too. I love the camaraderie that you get from team sports like this.
Yeah.
Even though swimming is considered an individual sport, it's about the team. I think, for me, it's way more than just any individual. It's always about the team and how successful the team is.
How hard is this last 100 or 50 meters, now last 25, when you know everybody else in the race is done? How hard is this last length?
It depends on how much effort he's put in already, but I would say it's a struggle.
I mean, mentally it has to be a struggle, even if not physically, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the fact that you're out there still pushing and going to finish is saying something about the intestinal fortitude of any kid that does that.
But then you look at, the team. The team is his, when he's fighting, those team members are helping him fight that fight. And so it won't be as struggle as, I think he might have another 50, but I'm not sure. Yep. He's got one more 50.
But he's pushing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you ever watch, like, the ESPYs and all that?
I do.
Stuart Scott, the year that he passed on, was talking about how, when you fight like heck, and when you're too tired to fight, let somebody else fight for you.
I remember that.
That's kind of what I see here. With these boys, he's fighting and he's struggling, and you take a look at that kid, how hard he's working on that lap counter.
Right. Yeah.
But you see all these kids on the side that are cheering him on, and so they're in this sense helping him through his struggle, and that's what I love about this kind of stuff. I do. Did I go a little loud on that one?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Loud is better than soft, I can tell you that.
Okay.
Because we can turn you down. We can only turn you up so much, though.
Oh, I can turn myself up really loud if I needed to.
And he's coming to the wall here, 13. Going to try to get under 14 minutes here.
Oh, that won't be a problem. I don't know if it's on 12 or not. There you go. There you go. So 13:40.96. Whoa. Whoa. He wants to go more. Look at him.
He's done. He thought he was still going.
Harley. Nice job, Harley.
Finishes up. And people can.
Let's go, Brett.
People can say whatever they want to about that time, but I'm going to say that there's 95% of the public right now that can't swim a 13:40 500 free.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say 98, based on statistical data.
Is that like factual statistical data? Are you just pulling that out, or is that?
I have
honestly
researched this. There are several events where anywhere between 95 and 98% of the world cannot do.
Well, I know
But
I
it's the
couldn't,
world,
but
not the USA.
Yeah, I know I couldn't, but as we get ready to go here. So let's talk about some strategy now. We talked about being able to swim with somebody helps. That kind of thing could help in distance swimming a little bit more, couldn't it?
Absolutely. If you get somebody who's right next to you, like take a look at these two right here. You take a look at Brett and you take a look at Aiden. And if these two are controlling their first part, they might be pushing themselves throughout this whole race. And it's so much easier to swim a race this long when you've got somebody there to push you than if nobody's near you. And so
when you take a breath, I've noticed most of these guys are 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, but they're switching sides on the breath.
Correct.
So that means they're 1, 2, 3 breath, 1, 2, 3 breath.
That's right. So what that does is it helps with balancing the stroke out. Your big thing here is that you want to have equal propulsion on both sides. You'll see in the next heat, my guy Jake, he is a right side only breather that we're trying to turn into a, breathe every third guy. And because he's a right side breather, he tends to over pull on his left side and not have enough pull on his right side.
Which makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because you're pulling with that left arm when you're out of the water, right? So when you pull when you're out of the water, it makes it
Correct.
It's easier to pull, I guess.
Exactly. And you're pulling straight back rather than coming all the way under your body like that. So right now it looks like I said, Aiden and Brett are pushing each other. It looks to be a really good race so far. I told Brett my big thing that I wanted to see is that he works on his walls because he used to really struggle on his walls, and now he's actually getting out past the flags, which is really, really good for him because, like I said, with the kid as big and as strong as he is, you want to be as hydrodynamic as you can. And, come on, stay with him, Brett.
Yeah, he's pulling away just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Now, is there any strategy to be like, okay, I've pushed this guy for so long, if I let up and coast for just a split second or catch my breath a little bit, maybe he wastes his energy to get ahead of me, then I can catch him later?
Usually that strategy is not effective.
Not
good? No. I would suggest like I always tell my guys to control it in the beginning. And then, at the end, that's when you want to towards, like the middle from the 250 to the 400 is really when I want him to push. And I believe that's what Coach Roche told his kid as well, because they both seem to be pushing right about here now. So Aiden's taking a slight lead on Brett, but Brett is still staying right with him, which is what he's, supposed to do.
Their turns have been within 0.2 or so of each other the whole time.
Yep, and that's what we want to see.
Less than a tenth.
So Brett's losing his walls a little bit while Aiden is keeping his walls a lot stronger, but it seems that Brett is a little bit more effective with the pulling throughout the 25, so ultimately it's going to come down to who is using the most energy. And right now Brett seems to have just pulled ahead a little bit of Aiden.
He seems to be a little smoother right now.
He does. Although Aiden's stroke is really long and really smooth. So, come on, Brett.
That's been a good race the entire way here.
Yeah, Aiden and Brett have been pushing, and that's what we were talking about. It's nice that that's what you were saying, if it's somebody's there. So this is exactly what you're talking about. You get somebody who's really good, can really push each other. I think Aiden kind of backed off a little bit that length 13 and 14 because now he's taking it to Brett a little bit. So they're switching up strategy, trying to see how it works.
So in racing, like NASCAR racing and stuff, they will tuck in behind somebody and draft,
Correct.
like you were talking about. Can Brett draft a little bit off of him? Is he close enough to him to draft and maybe gain a little bit of relaxation as far as things go here?
Yeah, absolutely. If kid's close enough to that side, which he is, Brett could get closer to this side to where he's at and use his wake as pushing and be able to do something like that.
Coming to the final lap here is just over 5 minutes. Last 100 meters, or last 50 meters coming. And this
is a great race.
Heat 2 of the 500, and it's going to be close down the stretch. It looks like Aiden Rowe is opening up a bit of a lead, though, as they come down to final 25.
Good race, though, for both of them. I mean, Brett was a 6:02 when he started, so 5:37. Nice.
5:40. So a 5:37 for Aiden Rowe, a 5:40 for Brett Heber, and took 22 seconds off of it. And the coach says, nice, where'd that come from? You want to? I always want to see more of that in practice, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a shout out here, Peyton.
So once again, tell us where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, if you're coming in here late to our broadcast.
Oh, we got 28 now.
We got 28. We were up to 30 a few minutes ago.
Okay.
You just weren't watching.
Well,
you had more important things going on.
I was taking a look at my swimmer who,
heaven forbid,
who did me proud. That might be, I think that's really actually within 2 seconds of his lifetime best time. So to do that in the beginning of the season is incredible.
So we are all done with the second flight, or second heat. Heat number 3 coming up next.
Let's go, Jake.
It's going to be Peyton Morrison from Metamora, Ethan Ellswick from United, Normal Community's Caleb Vogel, Metamora's Ethan Grove, Peoria Notre Dame's Jake Heber, and Moline's Josh Wayland. And Jake and Brett brothers.
Brett is the older brother of Jake. Brett is a senior. Jake is a sophomore. So,
which one's better?
Jake. I will say this. I mean, both of them have good talent, but Jake is, I would say, the more athletically gifted of the 3 boys. They have an older brother, Luke, who also swam for us here for 4 years. He's now a chemical engineer major at the University of Minnesota, and he was, I mean, all 3 of them are very good swimmers. So it's been kind of fun because we've never actually played them against each other. Everything has been nice, just working together as a family. So it's been great.
So, does it seem to
you?
you?
Holy crap. It seems to me he's going to die.
59:02?
Uh-huh.
That's fast.
He's out pretty quick. I might have to leave for a second and try and push him. If he can hold this pace, he might go a lifetime best time, which would mean we're doing something right at practice, which, that would really.
He just did that 50 in 31 seconds. He's still got a good pace going.
Oh, yeah, so far so good, but this is where it worries me because.
Now, sometimes they'll say, we want you to get out, go as fast as you can, and then hold on.
So that's the way I swam personally. I had to be out in the lead, otherwise I was, I guess for lack of a better term, not putting forth my best effort.
2:02
unless my coach and I had other plans. But for the most part, I was that guy who had to be in the front. Now, I train my guys differently. I tell them that, if anything, I like to call it the ninja, where they're behind a little bit, from everybody, and then they kind of pick off the person in front of them, and then they pick off the next person, and then slowly catch them with that last 300 yards. So, I mean, he doesn't look like he's fading
No, he's
too
not
badly.
fading much at all.
At the 230, holy crap, 234.
Yeah, that his last few.
Hey, get him, go. Right, get him going.
You could hear Coach hollering to say, "Get the board moving, keep him going." And
this could be a swim of all swims for him right now. If he's going under 5:19 at this meet, right now he's going 32s, 33s. So
yeah, he was 30. He was 30, just over 32, I think that time.
If he can hold that, we're in good shape. But, I mean, the funny thing is, too, I'm looking at the rest of the heat. The kid who's in second is a kid who's been swimming for us for the last couple of years as well, and he's making a nice swim for himself, Ethan Grove.
He's got 2 laps left, right?
We've got, I believe,
4 lengths.
5.5.
5.5.
Yeah. So if he's here, if he's faster than a 4:15, which he should, we're in really good shape.
It's a great run here for Jake Heber. 4:11.96.
Yeah, I want to know where the heck this is coming from.
This might be the best time to have you on this broadcast ever.
I'm gonna have to give a shout out to his cross country coach Dan Gray, because Jake last year played in the band and he decided he wanted to do something different. He went out for cross country. He didn't do as much swimming, but I tell you what, that cross country is great cross training for this right now. Just look at what he's doing.
4:43, 4:44.46.
So he'll go a 5:16 if he can finish this. And so much for me saying he's going to die. He just kept going.
He's at 5:39.96 as his best coming in.
Well, his best time actually was a 5:19.56.
Well, I meant for what you reported here.
Right. So we just got to get him in.
He may not quite beat the 5:19. It's going to be close.
Oh, no, he's going to beat it. He's going to go a 5:16.
5:16.09. Yeah. Jake Heber, a 5:16.09, and he is getting the harassment from the coach on the good.
I don't know where my boys are getting it, but shoot, I'll take this any day.
So where does that put you statewide?
Oh, is
that way off the mark?
Think of it this way. So the state high school state cut, I believe, is a 4:43.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah. So the only person who can – okay, so this is the best swimmer in the pool. Coming up in lane 3, it's Josh Fujimoto. He's the best swimmer in the entire pool area. His best time in the 500 free, all-time best time, I believe is a 4:28. He's the only person in this field that can, do that kind of swimming right now. But he's been swimming forever and a day and he's a fantastic swimmer. And Kenneth Wills also to his right. He's also a tremendous trainer, and he's a very good swimmer as well.
Fourth and final 500 free coming to the pool now. Jackson Vinzant from Glenwoods in lane 1. Dominic Trapani from Glenwoods in row 2 and lane 2. Lane 3 is Josh Fujimoto from Normal Community. Kenneth Wills from Normal Community's lane 4. Lane 5 is Jack T. Morris from Dunlap. And
Jack
Mateo Cauldron from Glenwood.
Yeah. So okay. So now you get to see a version of death.
25.47.
Yeah, 25.4 for Jack Morris, who's a fantastic swimmer, outstanding kid. Swims with us club or whatever, but he tends to take out his races a little too fast. You notice that I think it was a 27 that Jake took it out in that first 50. So he took it out 2 seconds faster. And he's one of those guys who's kind of the same mindset that I am. You got to take it out and just try and hold it.
Now, having said that, Wills and Fujimoto have him to chase now, which may make their times a little better too.
That's correct. But they'll
be more controlled about it.
They've been instructed by one of the best distance coaches of all time in Illinois swimming history, and so they know exactly when they need to make their move. They don't need to, worry about whether or not somebody's out way fast. They'll control it for the first 250, and then
Wills is already in at 123.05.
Sorry, that's Fujimoto.
Fujimoto, is already in. Yeah, I had him in backwards.
So, but Jack is out in 123.7, so who knows? Maybe he's going to prove me wrong, which I would absolutely love to see. That would be – I like getting proved wrong by my swimmers.
So let's talk about the fact that you coach a
club team.
Club team.
Yep.
I was going to say travel, club.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yep.
Volleyball, they call them club. Baseball, they call them traveling teams
right.
or whatever. And now, those kids that you coach in your club team, now that you're coaching, quote unquote, against them in high school, do you still feel like they're your kids a little bit?
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, you want your school kids
sure.
to beat them, but if your school kids aren't against them, you want, I'm guessing, those kids to do well, right?
I'll root for them. Like right now I'm rooting for Jack because, Jack swam for us and, he's a great kid and, I want Jack to succeed. I want him to become successful. And, he is going to be one of those kids that can become successful. But, yeah, I would love to be able to still continue to coach him. Unfortunately, I can't because, there are rules against that or whatever. And,
right.
But, you take a look at guys like Jack, who might swim in college. I'm not sure if he's going to or not. I know that Fujimoto is planning on swimming in college. I cannot remember where he plans to swim. But, like these kids are, they're still our kids. Even though you can't coach them, you can still root them on and, you can get great things out of them. So
Fujimoto is flying a 316.
Yeah, like I said, Josh Fujimoto is the cream of the crop. He could potentially win the state in the 500 this year. So he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the 5.
So you look through this list. There's a lot of big school teams here.
Yes.
Where are the fast swimmers at then? If Fujimoto isn't.
So most of the fast swimmers are up north. Most of them are in the Chicagoland area. Well, the guys that Josh has got to contend with come from Barrington, and they come from New Trier, St. Charles, Hinsdale, those guys. So that's where most of the fast swimmers are right now. I would say that downstate swimming, we always tend to go through peaks and valleys. And, sometimes we're the cream of the crop. Like in 2013, Normal U High actually won the state title. In 2014, Peoria Notre Dame got second at the state. After that, we top 5 for a couple of years. And then after that, both teams have kind of, we've had individual successes, but no real team success. But that, so we're in what we call a valley. But we've got some rising stars that are coming up that will influence us back into the peak portion. So, yeah, Fujimoto at 440. He's under state qualifying time in 2 weeks at,
Yeah, and he had 4:42.42, so he took almost 2 seconds off that.
Right. And then Kenneth Wills here just going 5 minutes.
5:19.
Yeah. And then you got Jack. So Jack was out at 2:30, 2:32. And then this one, he's going to go.
He was a 5:19 at his best. He's going to beat that by 4 seconds.
So, So 232, I think, is what he was. So 232 and then 213. So he faded off a little bit, but not too bad. I mean, he still had a good swim. And he didn't die. Like I said, he didn't die off as bad as I thought he would. So, yeah,
so
good swims.
It's weird because these kids that are being, for lack of a better term, made to look slow in this heat by Fujimoto and others would have been winning a couple of these heats
absolutely.
probably.
Without question.
You know, so it's nice to be fast, but it's really nice to be fast when you're the fastest. It's not so nice to be fast-ish, right?
That is a very, very, very sound statement there. It is nice to be fast. It's better to be fastest.
Yes. Got one more lap here. He's got 4 done and the 5th one. Got 5. There we got 2 done. 6 needs to finish yet too, I guess, don't they? 6 and 2 still yet to finish. Now, those guys are both well over their times.
Did you see that? We got somebody cheering for the Senators team from Springfield.
Yeah, Robin Hovey.
Hovey. So that's I was calling him Harvey. So I apologize for that. He was one of the 500 swimmers in, I believe, heat. What heat was he in? He was in heat 1. Yeah. He was the guy who won it for heat 1.
Well, that's Javi.
Is it Javi?
Well,
I thought that was.
She's got Javi on here, but this thing says Javi.
Oh, never mind.
So, Robin, are you related to Leo? Is that a mistype on one of them?
Or is that just me reading wrong?
Or we just, I mean, it is.
In our defense, it's probably my fault.
Small print. No, it says Javi on here.
Well, yeah, but
I
just don't know anything. So I mean, I might as well just.
Do any of us know anything, really?
That's right. Well, the only wisdom consists in knowing that you know nothing.
200-yard free?
You know who said that, don't you?
You, right then, but I don't know who.
Socrates Johnson.
Oh, well, no, I didn't know who said that.
So Socrates Johnson is also the name of what Bill and Ted call Socrates in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
You know, I don't know that I've ever watched that movie all the way through. I've seen it all, I'm sure, but I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through.
I could watch that movie over and over again and never get sick of it.
Boys freestyle, 200-yard freestyle relay, Dunlap, Metamora in lane 2, Macomb lane 3, Springfield lane 4, and Springfield lane 5. Macomb's team has Diego Mamie Nieblas in the first leg. Second leg is Kevin Wu. Third leg is Obi Afitile.
Second leg might want to get his goggles on.
And Satima Stone is the fourth leg.
Yep, his goggles are still on his forehead.
They're overrated.
And, yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
Hey, put them on.
And now he's putting them on. There you go. He figured it out after he dove.
I think he figured it out as he dove, in all honesty.
Don't be a weenie, Peyton.
Got to give my boy Peyton a little fun. Peyton, whose dad is Coach Shane Morrison for the Metamora Redbirds, now has a brand new baby sister.
Really?
Yes.
So that was here in lane 1, that was a pretty deep dive.
Yes.
How hard is it to do that, to shallow, not to belly flop? I mean, there's got to be
you got to have the happy
sweet
medium.
spot, right?
Yep.
I mean, you go too flat, you stop yourself. You go too deep, you're slow getting up, and you don't get any benefits of going out, right?
So I try and teach my kids to enter like a 45-degree angle. So it allows them to be able to hit that sweet spot, as you call it. However, if they dive too deep, as they're going underneath and they're kicking, I tell them to point their hands back so that they can arch, so that they can bring themselves up quicker. And then if they just land really flat, I just tell them to put some ice on their stomach and their legs.
And the dive into the pool is no different than diving off a diving board, right? The more smooth you are,
yes,
the less smash you make.
On that aspect,
Yes,
absolutely. You
that's
want to
one
be
thing.
as smooth as you can.
Right, and the less splash you make, the better off you are,
Absolutely.
probably, right?
If you could rip that entry, that means that you've hit that sweet spot and you're going nice and smooth through that water. I call it the slipstream. So it's basically the same thing.
That was a pretty good dive in lane 1 right there.
Yes,
actually.
it was.
No splash at all, hardly. I don't dive without making a splash anymore.
I can still dive without making a splash. So my dive and my turn were about the only two things that were good about my swimming. I had an okay kick. Yeah, the swimming. I was not a swimmer that was worthy of swimming per se, but I could start and turn. So in a 50, that's all you really need.
A 141 for.
That's, I believe, Springfield.
That was Springfield, yeah.
Yep. And Metamora, I think, got second on that one.
We are 2 pages away from being done, aren't we?
Well, after this heat, I am done.
Are you?
Yes.
Slacker.
That's me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Taco Bell. I'm going to get some food, come back, and pick up my wife, who's the meet referee, and head home.
Hubbies and Havies are teammates and neighbors. Go Senators. CJ
Well, we like both the Havies and the Hobbies. So
we appreciate
everybody the Havies and the Hobbies.
Yeah, that's right. We appreciate everybody watching. Greatly appreciate it. We'll try to do some more swim meets as we go along here.
What happened there? And we're going to have to work on that a little bit.
Bad turn for you?
His underwaters weren't exactly what I was looking for, but they weren't terrible either.
Heat 2 of the 200-yard freestyle relay. Macomb's in lane 1, Moline lane 2, Peoria Notre Dame lane 3. Lane 4 is Glenwood, lane 5 is Moline, lane 6 is Dunlap. Macomb's are Kyle Glau.
Look at that underwater. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Varick Venuga Polan. Calvin Steiner and Caden Knobloch.
Bad. So, yeah, there we go. Looks like it's going to be a nice race between us and Moline. And Brett decided to breathe the last stroke, but he didn't breathe off his turn. Attaboy, Brett.
Hubby rhymes with Lovey, by the way.
Lovey Smith.
Hubby and Lovey.
Former great coach of the Chicago Bears.
And Havey.
And Havey rhymes with Mavey, who is Mavey. Well, actually, I know a Maeve Collins from Hinsdale swims for the Rise Aquatic Club. So it's Maeve, but I always call her Mavey because it's Maeve. So we'll just say it rhymes with that.
There you go. We do appreciate everybody watching. Try and get everybody a little bit.
Oh, we got up to 35 people. This is great.
Yes,
Look
we're
at
doing
that.
Great.
Those Springfield people are rocking.
I think the Hubbies and the Havies are sharing it. You think so?
I hope so.
I hope so, too. We do appreciate everybody tuning in, and hopefully you're enjoying it. This will be on our YouTube channel here for everybody to go back and watch as they would like. And are they supposed to get out of the pool before the whistle blows?
They wait until every competitor is done.
Oh, okay.
That kind of limits the amount of waves that the competitor will have to
swim through. Heat number 3 now is Mr. Sailing says go Moline. Heat 3, the third and final heat for the 200 free relay. Lane 1 is Dunlap. Lane 2 is Glenwood. Lane 3 is Normal Community. Lane 4 is Dunlap. Lane 5 is Glenwood. And lane 6 is the Crimsons.
Who are the Crimsons?
Yeah, is anybody watching that's a Crimson that can tell us what high school the Crimsons are from? We would love to know that. I thought I knew most of them. What's Moline's nickname?
They're the Maroons.
Maroons, that's
Yep.
it. I knew it was a color like that.
I think Glenwood is the Spartans, but I'm not sure about that one. Dunlap's the Eagles. Normal Community's the Ironmen. We're Irish, obviously.
Are you Irish?
Yes, actually.
You are actually
I'm
Irish?
partially Irish. I think Keokuk, I don't know if they're the Chiefs or if they changed their name.
Keokuk are still the Chiefs,
Okay.
yeah. That's one I do know. See,
Okay.
most of these schools are bigger schools, so all the teams that I coached and played and covered for the most part outside of Macomb didn't do anything with schools this big.
Yeah.
.102.83 for a turn there. 111, 114.
Yeah, this is where Normal Community, they might be small, but they are mighty. They've got 4 really solid swimmers.
Glenwood is the Titans.
Yep, Titans, that's it. Thank you. I knew I was close with Spartans. Yeah, which isn't close at all, but, I like to make myself feel better.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same time period. Can we go with that?
That's true.
Can we go with that?
Well, the Titans were defeated by the gods, and then the Spartans had to go and kill Xerxes. I've watched a lot of those old movies.
I wasn't going to get that much into it.
Well, I like Troy. I like 300. I like all that kind of old stuff. It's fun.
No, I've never seen any of those. Either one of those movies.
They're fantastic movies.
Are they? I'll have to check them out. Springfield Senators, that seems fitting, doesn't it?
It sure does.
And did they say they're going to take another break?
They did. It's a 10-minute break. So I will sign off, but thank you for letting me join in on your.
I appreciate it, sir. Greatly.
This is great. Hopefully you guys have yourselves a tremendous season, and go Bombers.
We're going to go some basketball tonight. You want to come help me with that?
I see that. I do that for my school at Notre Dame, actually. So
do you?
I
so
do.
you could help me.
I could.
But it's in Quincy, Notre Dame.
I'm not doing that. No.
It's Notre Dame, though.
I used to live in Quincy.
It's Notre Dame. Does that count for anything?
It sure does. I will go over there, when and bless the, whoever, and then say head out of Quincy and head back to Peoria.
Well, sir, I appreciate it greatly.
You take
Thank
care.
you.
Nice talking to you.
We're going to take another break here as they got a 10-minute break. We'll be back in just a little bit with the final 3 events. Right after a short break. Thanks for joining us here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
It was the community that really drew me back to Macomb. I'm from a small community, and I'm from a farm family, and ultimately I always wanted to practice in a place like that, and I felt that I had the ability to connect to people who with a similar background from me, and the fact that the staff members at the hospital and the support, all the support staff at the hospital was also focused with the goal of patient care. It felt like it just all came hammered at home for me.
All right, welcome back.
And welcome to halftime here at the state championship game.
All right, welcome back. We're here now with Wanda Foster, the Vice President of Nursing and Clinical Administration. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Well, what we're going to talk about today is some of the opportunities that are available at MDH for students, whether they be high school students, Spoon River College students, or Western students. MDH has a lot of opportunities to be involved and to learn, right?
We absolutely do. And we look so forward to having students here. We are a clinical site for Western Illinois University and their bachelor's program for nursing, as well as for Spoon River College nursing students and others that are doing some independent study. We welcome students, and we also encourage high school students. If you would like to learn more about nursing, we would love to meet with you. And there are opportunities at the hospital also where they can apply for jobs here, for positions. So we work closely with our nursing students, and we hope to recruit them and attract them and want to come back.
I know that publicly there's been a shortcoming or a shortage of nurses, right? And I know that every hospital and every nursing home and every clinical place period is searching for nurses. So how important is it for MDH to have these groups work with them, whether it be MDH or be Sweet River College or whatever the case may be? How important is it for MDH to then recruit those nurses to stay here and work as a profession?
It's very important. We want nursing students to feel very comfortable here, to enjoy their clinical experience and their opportunities here, and then we want them to feel very comfortable, to give them a good orientation. We hire new graduates, of course, into our acute care area as well as the intensive care unit. We hire new graduates in the emergency room, in home health and hospice, in our OB department, and our surgery department. These are all areas that new graduates can come into. We certainly give them a robust orientation. No one starts on their own until they feel completely ready. They have a mentor certainly with them, and we want to give them the best start for success that we can. And then there are many areas of specialty they can choose to go into. Nursing is a very unique field. You can work full-time, you can work part-time if you need to take time off for some reason. It's a field that you can kind of step into a little bit more than maybe some other fields in healthcare. We also have scholarships available through our auxiliary, through the hospital, and then once someone is an employee here, we do have some tuition reimbursement. So we will certainly help with that.
And going back to the scholarships and the shortages that are across the board, not necessarily at MDH, but everywhere. Right? So everywhere. This is a profession that you can make a good living at and be pretty sure to have a job, right? So
absolutely.
This is a profession that high schoolers that are playing these sporting events or high schoolers that are watching these sporting events should consider, I would imagine.
Yes, very much so. You will always be assured to have a job, a career in nursing. I hate to call it just a job because you really want someone on that career path who has that passion for caring for people, for providing nursing care. Through your education and through your orientation, we can teach you your skill set. But if you have that passion and the desire to be in the nursing profession, you will do fine.
Yeah, a career and a job, while they might be listed as the same thing, they're really not, correct? I mean, if your career is being a nurse, you're probably going to enjoy it a lot more than if it's a job, right?
That's right. And you don't go into it first and foremost for the money. You go into it because that's what you want to do with your life, and the money certainly will follow.
Yeah, and that goes for anything probably,
yes.
But the nice thing is right now, whether the money's good or bad, there's always going to be a job.
There will.
If you can get through the schooling and you can learn to love what you're doing, there's always going to be a job for you, right?
And it's not something for high school graduates exclusively. We have many people who have made changes midlife. We have people who have retired from their career in one thing and have chosen to go into nursing. So it's open for any age, and we certainly welcome that.
And you mentioned there's different areas of expertise for nurses. People think of that for doctors, but it's really that same way for nurses, right? I mean, you can be a surgical nurse and really become a great surgical nurse, or you can become a great ICU nurse, or you can do all those things.
Yes.
But if you really want to focus on something, or be at OB, which you guys have a great OB department here, if that's what you want your focus to be and you really love working with expected and new mothers and young babies, you can do that, right?
You can do that. We also have positions in our MDH physician clinic practices as well. And if you are in nursing and you can choose to specialize in a certain department, you can choose to go on and be a director or a clinical care coordinator. You can go back to school and become a nurse practitioner, become a certified registered nurse anesthetist. You can go many different directions and really as high as to whatever extent in your education you would like to pursue.
Well, Wanda, thanks for coming and talking to us. We greatly appreciate it. I know that there's probably specific places within MDH that they can reach out to, correct? Is there somewhere that they need to call if they're interested?
I would call our human resource department and start there, and then they can help direct and guide you. They can tell you about openings that we currently have. All of our current positions are listed on our MDH website, www.mdh.org. But certainly any positions for high school students, if they would like to start somewhere within the organization or volunteer experience, reach out to Human Resources and they can help direct you.
Well, again, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today and make your voice heard.
I chose the MDH OBGYN group because I've heard wonderful things about Dr. Smith. And upon entering the office, I really got along with everybody and got a warm feeling. The staff is warm and inviting and welcoming. It's a small community, so it's a really nice hospital to have here in the rural area. I continue to choose MDH because of the relationships I have. I really enjoy everybody here.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm gonna have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I thought about the staff of MDH. They're all good, and you will get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
Welcome back to the pool here from Macomb High School. The MHS invite. We have 3 events remaining. Paul, to tell you, the 100-yard backstroke is next. The 100-yard breast will follow that. And then the boys 400 free, which has 3 heats in it. So there's 5 heats of 100-yard backstroke, 5 heats of 100-yard breaststroke, and 3 heats of 400-yard relay. Current point leader, Normal Community, still leading with 276. Dunlap has 238, Glenwood has 197, Moline has 191, Springfield 173, Metamora 160, Peoria Notre Dame 106, Jacksonville 57, Macomb 54, Monmouth 32. As we get ready to go for heat number 1 of the 100-yard backstroke, it'll look like this. Springfield's Luke Milliman, Macomb's Satima Stone, Dunlap's Ian Lashari, and Macomb's Diego Miami Niblis are in 2, 3, and 4, and 5, respectively. I want to say hi to Aunt Vicky. CJ, Jacksonville is a Crimsons. Gosh, I should have known that. Thank you, CJ. I appreciate it. Kerry Vogel, thanks for joining us and watching Normal Community. As we are short a camera person, I gave those guys a break as well. 217 springboard and dive, thanks for joining us as well. Says go Senators. Laurel Allen, go Logan Allen and the Springfield Senators. Thanks everybody for joining us. We do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and share this, and as well as subscribe to our channel if you'd be so kind. If you're into that kind of thing, we do have Top Chat and so on available. We do have Top Chat available and all that good stuff if you'd like to make some sort of a donation for bringing you the contest today. Lane number 2 gets the win, 111-53. That is Luke Milliman from Springfield. So a Senator gets a win here. Looks like 217 springboard dive must have known something the rest of us didn't. Gets the win and a 111-53, a good time. 1:11:53 would have put him in the fast heat from the times coming in. I sent the guys down a little late to get something to eat and drink from the hospitality room, so I was running the camera and everything there. I apologize, folks. Luke came up with a Jimmy John's in one hand and was going to try to run the camera, and I told him to hold off a second, but he's back now. He's a college kid, so he eats real fast, apparently. Grant just inhales his as the first heat of the 100-yard backstroke is complete. Everybody out of the pool fastest, a 1:11:53 for Luke Milliman. Heat number 2 from Macomb's Caden Knobloch. Jacksonville's Emiliano Riviera. Macomb has Colin Clow. Moline has Keegan Wardrip. Macomb has Drake Moore. And Dunlap has Dawson Young. So it's Knobloch in lane 1, Riviera lane 2, Clow in 3, Wardrip in 4, Moore in 5, and Young in 6. Once again, this is heat 2 of 5 in the 100 back. We have the 100 breaststroke, which has 5 heats also. And then we have the 400 freestyle, which will have 3 heats. Close race, really. This is probably one of the closest across the board that we've had thus far today. All 5 or 6 are within range of each other here. A 42 and 773 in lane 5 at the turn for Drake Moore from Macomb. Coming down the home stretch here. Lane 1 is closing. It's going to be close between 1 and 5. And give it to 5, a 1:28:03 and a 1:28:76. 1:28:03 lane 5 is Drake Moore from Macomb. 1:28:76 in lane 1 is Caden Knobloch from Macomb. So a couple Macomb swimmers up in the top 2. And in lane 3, also from Macomb's Colin Clow, he had a 1:32:71. So the top 3 in Heat 2 were all Macomb swimmers. Heat 3 looks like this. Jacksonville's Edgar Kalina is lane 1. Kiwani's Emmett Brokaw, lane 2. Glenwood's Liam Huntley, lane 3. Lane 4 is Moline's Harrison Van Voren. Lane 5 is Jack Buchanan from Macomb. And lane 6 is the Dunlap Eagles' Taryn Shrinovis. As we work on Heat 3 of 5 here. As at the first turn, everybody under 40 seconds. Well, the top 3 were under 40 seconds. coming to the wall, lane 2, going to get the win. 110-94 in lane 2 for Emmett Brokaw from Kewanee. Second goes to lane 5. That's Jack Buchanan from Macomb with a 1:18.37. That's 14 seconds and a half off previous best time of the year. Scratch that. 11 seconds off. I looked at the wrong time. Heat number 4 coming to this pool now. Jackson Thompson from Macomb's in lane 1. Lane 2, Jack McFarlane from Dunlap. Lane 3 is Ethan Arndt from Normal Community. Philip Kelly from Macomb is lane 4. Lane 5 is Devin Brannon from Moline. And lane 6 is Jackson Dower from Glenwood. Thank you very much, Jim Smith. We appreciate that. Greatly appreciate it, Jim, for hopping in there in the top chat. You always got to give the officials a shout out. That is correct. Nothing wrong with that at all. As Heat 4 of 5 is underway now. We will try to do some more swimming, folks, so feel free to subscribe to our channel, Hulett PubliPro LLC's YouTube channels, where all our TSSR Game Time live broadcasts will be published on YouTube. The first turn, some good turns, 32.86 in lane 2. That's Jack McFarland from Dunlap. 34.30 in lane 3 is Ethan Arndt from Normal Community. Lane 2 coming to the finish. Lane 5 trying to close. Not going to get there, though. Lane 2, a 108.74. Lane 3, a 110.58. And lane 5, a 109.27. So lane 2 is Jack McFarland from Dunlap with a 108.74. Second goes to lane 5. That's Devin Brannon from Moline and a 109.27. And lane 3 is a 110.58 for Ethan Arndt from Normal Community. Getting ready to start the fifth and final heat. It lines up like this. Andrew Buss from Metamora is in lane 1. Springfield's Logan Allen in lane 2. Keokuk, Iowa's Brendan Worcester in lane 3. Lane 4 is Normal Community's Logan Goss. Lane 5 is Normal Community's Camden Malinowski. And lane 6 is Glenwood's William Maidener. And we're going to turn already, and the first turn is at 26.06. And that is lane 3. That's the Keokuk, Iowa swimmer Brendan Worcester, and he had a 53.43 as his best time coming in. He's already made the turn at the other end, heading back this way. He's coming back, trying to best a 53.43. As he comes down the line, he's in the final 10 meters. He's not going to beat it, I don't think. He does, 53.96. No, he doesn't. He's just about 5/10 off. 53.96 is the winner. 58.51 in lane 4 for Logan Goss. And third goes a one flat with a 2-1 added at the end to lane 2 for Logan Allen from Springfield. So that's how the 100 backstroke ends. 5 heats of the 100-yard breaststroke yet to come here. Lucas Herbst from Dunlaps in lane 2. Arth Valles from Springfield, lane 3. Jeremy Tashibi from Macomb, lane 4. And Liam Udell from Metamora is lane 5. Once again, this is the first of 5 heats in the 100-yard breaststroke. No times entering this event for any of these swimmers, so nothing to compare to for us anyway. At the turn, a 33 and 49, a 33 and 49 at the turn for Lucas Herbst from Dunlap. 40-49 in lane 5 for Liam Udell. And coming final 10 meters here, touching the wall at 1:14 and 48 for Lucas Herbst. (1:28.08) in lane 5 for Liam Udell. 1:36 and 18 in lane 3 for Arth Valles. And Macomb's Jeremiah Tashibi working to finish here. Jeremy Tashibi. So Luke was explaining. I should have Luke on here talking instead of me. He knows more than I do, but the hands can't go past the hips, and lane 4 was disqualified there for hands going past the hips on the breaststroke. Heat 2 looks like this. Riley Herr from Springfield's lane 1. Lane 2 from Macomb is Kyler Glau. Lane 3 from Jacksonville, Santiago Rivera. He's a freshman. Fastest time in this one. Heat 4 is Moline's Aiden McCoy. Lane 5 is Macomb's Calvin Steiner. And Obi Afathil, I'm sorry, I wish I could pronounce that better, from Macomb, is lane 6. Here's some of the teams chanting for their swimmers. Going to touch up at the halfway point. Lane 2 and lane 4 neck and neck. Lane 2, a 39-31. That's Kyler Glau from Macomb. Lane 4 is Aiden McCoy from Moline. McCoy was 0.6 of a second behind Glau that time at the wall. They're down rowing at the other end down there. I think that's the Macomb Bombers team down there having some fun. Still a close match at 2 and 4. It's going to be close to the wall. Moline in lane 4 is going to get the win, and lane 2, Macomb, is going to come in second, 0.2 of a second behind. It's second and 0.2, excuse me. 1:24 and 25 for lane 4. That is Aiden McCoy. And lane 2, a 1:24 and 25 for Kyler Glau from Macomb. Third spot goes to a 1:25 and 45 to lane. I guess I missed lane 1 altogether. I couldn't see it. A 1:10 and 40 in lane 1. I didn't see that stopping. I apologize, folks. Riley Herr at 1:10 and 40. I can't see lane 1, and I didn't notice him being. He was so far ahead. Apparently, I didn't catch it. I apologize. So those two guys were battling for second. Actually, Herr got first in lane 1. Lane 4 was McCoy, and second and 3 was Glau in third in the second row. Heat number 3 of 5, Joey Panktarazio from Moline. Maxwell Jedlicka from Springfield in lane 2. Lane 3 from Glenwood, William Patsia. Macomb's Varick Venugopolon is lane 4. Lane 5 is Dunlap's Justin Chin, and lane 6 is Dunlap's Stanley Chin. 1:20 and 19 is the fastest in this heat. One, 2, 3, and 4 are relatively close here as they come to the wall. Lane 1, the Moline swimmer is going to have the fastest time at a 37.95. Guess I should just start watching it on the screen. Making the turn to head back in lane number 1 right now. That is Joey Panktarazio. Good battle for second right now, but Panktarazio is going to get the win for Moline with a 1:20 and 34. Lane 4 is a 1:23 and 8. Lane 3 is a 1:23 and 9. And 1:25 and 27 is lane 4. So lane 4 gets second. That is Varick from Macomb. Lane 3 gets third. It's William Patsia from Glenwood. Race number 4 of 5 in the 100-yard breaststroke. Looks like this. Jacksonville's Camden Impey is in lane 1. Glenwood's James Overman's lane 2. Keokuk's William Potratz is lane 3. Moline's Carson Stickle is lane 4. Springfield's Will Hovey is lane 5, and Glenwood's Elijah Morsh is lane 6. And at the halfway point, a 32.09 in lane 4. 32.09 in lane 4 is Carson Stickle from Moline. 34.01 in lane 5 was in second. That's Will Hovey. Coming to the wall now, trying to finish for Moline, getting the win at 1:08 and 33 is Carson Stickle. Best in his time by nearly 6 seconds. Second's going to go to lane 5, a 1:12 and 52 for Will Hovey. And third goes to lane 3, a 1:13 and 13 for Keokuk's William Potratz. So the fast three were the fast three there in the fourth heat. Last heat of the 100-yard breaststroke coming your way now. Lane number 1 from Metamora is Adam Culp. Lane number 2 from Normal Community is Wade Pyle. Row 3 is Glenwood's Leighton Turk. Lane 4, Normal Communities' Josh Zvob. Jacksonville's Colin Wilson's lane 5, and Levi Salverson's lane 6. And they're down doing the rowing again. Down doing the rowing again, down at the other end. Trying to help out their swimmers. Coming to the halfway point here. Close race up front, 30 and 71 at the half for lane number 3. That's Leighton Turk. Like they're rowing a boat down there, team rowing. Coming to the wire now. Last 15 meters, making the last 10. And coming in to touch with the win, 105 and 33 for lane number 3, Leighton Turk from Glenwood. Second goes with a 106 and 83 to lane 6, Levi Salverson. And third goes to lane 4, a 107 and 11. That's Josh Fobb. Final event of the day, 400-yard freestyle. Macomb is in lane 1, Metamora lane 2, Dunlap lane 3, Springfield lane 4, and Springfield lane 5. The only team with a time here is Dunlap Eagles, who have a 7:28, 22 and 83. I think we through 8 events, we read that one off to you. The Tucker Baldy is the first leg for Macomb. Henry Lauer, the first leg for her second leg. Colin Clow, the third leg, and Drake Moore, the fourth. For Metamora, it's Peyton Morrison, leg 1, Ethan Grove, lane 2, Seth Nowak, lane 3, and Andrew Buss, lane 4. Dunlap has Ian Lashari in lane 1, leg 1, Dawson Young, leg 2, Alex Kisby, lane 3, and Lucas Herbst, lane 4. Springfield in lane 4 has Rowan Ugrappa in the first leg, John Paul Moore in the second leg, Conrad Martin in the third, and Luke Milliman in the fourth. The fifth lane, Springfield, has Chronix Bolzer, Leo Havey in second leg, Carter Alexander the third leg, and Maxwell Jedlicka the final leg. 112 and 72, the split for lane 5, Springfield. Third leg in the water now, 158 and 61. The fastest, that's lane 2 now has taken over. That is Metamora. So we've got 231 on that change, 225 lane 5, Springfield High. Macomb was at a 235 and 95 split that time. Final swimmers are in the water for a couple of the teams. Final swimmer in the water in lane 5. And coming for the touch, 4:09 and 24 in lane 2, 4:11 and 55 in lane 4. Still have a couple teams in the pool. Lane 1, Macomb still in the pool. Lane 5 and lane 3. So first place goes to lane number 2, Metamora, with a 4:09 and 24. Lane 4, a 4:11 and 55 for Springfield's first team. Lane 5 slowed down quite a bit for Springfield as the touch comes there, 4:52 and 40 and 85 for a third place finish for Springfield, team number 2 here in heat 1 of 3 for the final event of the day. It's the 400-yard freestyle relay. Going to touch up in lane 3 for a fourth place finish. Macomb, the final team out in this group. Macomb finishes at 5:32. Heat number 2 coming to the pool now. Macomb in lane 1, Glenwood in lane 2, Glenwood in lane 3, Moline lane 4, Dunlap lane 5, and Dunlap lane 6. It's Jack Buchanan in the first leg, Jackson Thompson leg 2, George Tang leg 3, and Philip Kelly leg 4 for the Bombers. For Glenwood, it's Yuan Shu in leg 1, Liam Huntley in leg 2, leg 3 is Jackson Dorr, and leg 4 is Samuel McCurdy. For Glenwood, leg 1 is Mason Straw, leg 2 is Aiden Groves, leg 3 is James Wallman, and leg 4 is William Potsia. Moline in the fourth lane has Bryce Swanson in leg 1, Sayed Suryev in leg 2, Harrison Van Vuren in leg 3, and Joey Paktarazi in leg 4. The fifth lane has Dunlap's William Dornan in leg 1, Matthew Gong in leg 2, Jack McFarland in leg 3, and Connor Devonin in leg 4. The sixth lane has Dunlap's Taryn Serenivis, leg 1, Evan Santiago, leg 2, Parker Jenkins, leg 3, and Justin Chin, leg 4. This is the next to last race of the day. .133 and 07, the fastest turn there. Macomb getting ready to put their third swimmer in the water. I kind of thought when we set up here, after I started looking, I was like, I don't know if this is a safe place to be set up or not. but we've avoided splashes thus far. We're about made it to the end. We want to thank everybody for being so hospitable to have us, though. It's been a fun time here, as we've got one more race after this one, and the last swimmer in the water for lane number 3, lane number 1. Is a lap behind, essentially, I do believe. Another last swimmer in the water. Lane 3. Lane 4. Once again, thanks everybody for being in the live chat. The live chat does stay, so when you go back and watch, you'll be able to hear or see what everybody posted in the live chat. And Glenwood getting ready to put their final swimmer in lane 3. And touched up, first place, 3:59.04 in lane 5. 3:59.04 for Dunlap, bettering actually that's not bettering their fastest time. Lane 4 is second with a 4:29. Lane 1 finishes in the third spot with a 4:33.69. That was Macomb. So Macomb finishes third. Second is Moline, and first is Dunlap. Nobody bettered their times. Well, it's not true. Macomb did. They took 17 seconds off their time. And everybody finished in heat 2. That means it's time for the third and final heat of the boys 400-yard freestyle relay, and it is the final heat of the day. And it lines up like this. Normal Communities in lane 1, Dunlap lane 2, Normal Community lane 3, Glenwood lane 4, Keokuk lane 5, and Moline lane 6. Normal Communities team in lane 1 consists of Caleb Vogel, Ethan Arndt, Dominic Williams, and Wade Pyle. Lane 2, Dunlap has Joseph S. Kang, and leg 1, August Dornan in leg 2, Levi Salverson lane 3, and Jack Morris lane 4. Lane 3 has Normal Communities Kenneth Wills in leg 1, Logan Goss in leg 2, Camden Melanowski in leg 3, and Josh Fujimoto in leg 4. No wonder that's a 3:21 and 21 time. Glenwood in lane 4 has Mateo Caldron in leg 1, Dominic Trapani in leg 2, Dylan West in leg 3, and Jackson Vinzant in leg 4. Keokuk has Reese Mangus in leg 1, Gunnar Bigelow in leg 2, William Potratz in leg 3, and Brendan Worcester in leg 4. Moline has Josh Whalen in lane 6. Josh Whalen is leg 1. Aiden Rowe is leg 2. Kyle Phillips is leg 3. And leg 4 is Carson Stickle, as we have second swimmers in the water, getting ready to put third swimmers in the water. 1:20 and 46 in leg 6. Thank you, folks, for joining in, which wouldn't be worth us doing it if you guys weren't watching, so we greatly appreciate it. We hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did. Definitely try to do some more of these as we move through the year if we could get them fit in the schedule. Third swimmers in the water now as well for most teams. Even fourth swimmers in for a couple teams, I do believe. Now we're getting ready to put fourth swimmers in now. Normal Community goes at 2:30 and 9, 2:30 and 9 in lane 4. Actually, that's Glenwood. 2:36 and 35 in lane 3 is Normal Community. They are on their fourth swimmer. Glenwood in lane 4 getting ready to put their fourth swimmer in at 3:01 and 09. Looks like Keokuk's got one more swimmer to go in the water, I do believe, in lane 5. First place goes to lane number 3, Normal Community, with a 3:24 and 92. A 3:24 and 92 is 3 seconds off their fastest pace. And there's Normal Community touching up there as well. Here's a finish. Nope, we got one more coming in. There's a finish and one last swimmer going in the water for Keokuk. Glenwood finished up there in 4th. 5th goes to lane 1. So the winner is Normal Community in lane 3. Second goes to lane 2, Dunlap. Third goes to lane 6. That is Moline. Fourth goes to lane 4, which is Glenwood. Fifth goes to lane 1, which is Normal Community. You saw that finish for Wade Pyle as he came to the line. Final swimmer touching the wall for the meet. It's Keokuk 4:44 and 63. As that was a much slower time than they brought in, 44 seconds slower, in fact. So that's going to do it for the broadcast today. Check with your schools. We'll try to post some results, but we do have to get down the road to our next broadcast. So thanks for tuning in to the MHS Invite. We greatly appreciate it. Luke Little, Grant Hicks, Coach Derek from the Peoria Notre Dame Irish for hopping on and helping us as well. I'm Dwayne Hulett. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share the Hulett PubliPro LLC YouTube channel. Watch all the TSSR Game Time live events there. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again very soon down the road. Macomb, if you're watching, any Macomb fans, Macomb Bombers basketball is at Q&D tonight. That's where we're heading next. We'll see you on the air in just about 2.5 hours. See you.